From Multisport Field on the campus of Assumption College in Worcester, Massachusetts, Charter TV3 presents coverage of New England college football. Today, the Assumption Greyhounds host the Owls of Southern Connecticut State. It's college football on Charter TV3. Hello, everyone, and welcome down to the field. Kevin Shea alongside of Andy Lacombe. Big game for both teams today. Assumption comes in tied for first in the league. Meanwhile, Southern Connecticut State 2-2 in league play. A win here would vault them near the top spot in the league.
Yeah, and the Owls, a power rushing team, winners of 2 in a row, would love to get a third. Assumption's had the better of it recently in this rivalry. 6 straight for the Hounds, and Andy McKenzie's bunch rolling right now, putting up a ton of points on offense, and their defense, their usual takeaway type self. Should be a good one this afternoon.
All right, Assumption has been to the NCAA tournament the last 3 years. They're on the march towards number 4, facing a tough test today. Southern Connecticut standing in the way. We're back with the opening kickoff right after this.
With my Bay State Savings Bank mobile app, I don't need to drive to a local branch to deposit my money. I can deposit a check just by taking a picture on my phone. Anywhere, anytime. Done. I just saved on gas and saved myself some time. It's a win for everybody.
For everybody?
For everybody.
For everybody?
For everybody.
For everybody.
I know.
Bay State Savings Bank is proud to sponsor the Friday Night Football Frenzy. Bay State Savings Bank. We take banking personally.
Accidents involving distracted driving injured over 400,000 Americans last year. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car or motorcycle accident, before you call your insurance company, call the law offices of Joseph J. Cariglia. Our attorneys have helped tens of thousands of clients receive millions of dollars in settlements for over 50 years. Don't stand alone against the big insurance companies. Call the law offices of Joseph J. Cariglia for a free consultation. We don't get paid unless you do.
Right now, Bertera Nissan's offering several new models, the Nissan Kicks and the Nissan Leaf.
Come down and see us right now for our model year-end closeout event. We have to sell these 2018s, and the rebates are incredible.
Bertera Nissan's also going to offer our local employers better discounts than everybody else. If you currently work for UMass, Fallon, Wyman Gordon, St. Gobain's, and several other companies, we're going to offer you an increased discount above and beyond what everyone else sees. Come on and join us here at Bertera Nissan on Route 20 in Auburn.
Doors. Every door is different. Every door, unique. And each one tells a story. Open a door at Unibank and you'll find a unique place. A bank where we listen to you and find answers. All to help you write your unique success story. Welcome to the new Unibank. Please, after you. Unibank. Bank different. Bank unique. Member FDIC, member DIF, equal housing lender.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Multisport Stadium. Kevin Shea, Andy Lacombe, members of the South High ROTC, bringing the colors out to midfield. And just moments ago, Brenna Wilson caught up with Andy McKenzie, the head coach of Assumption.
Coach, coming off a bye week today, how important is it to get a win to, hopefully keep that momentum rolling throughout the rest of the season?
Our team is definitely ready to see a different color jersey today. Our bye week was great. It did come at a good time for us. We're able to dial it back and focus in on some fundamentals and worry about taking care of our business as a football team and grow as football players. And then, we got a little bit more into the game plan this week, and they're definitely ready to go today.
They're a rushing team. Southern Connecticut's a rushing team. How are you going to kind of keep that in check, and Eli Parks as well?
Yeah, of course. They're very good on offense. They can score a lot of points, and they do it by the ground game. They've been very effective all year. We're prepared for it. We'll have more guys around the football than we normally do, which is going to be important for us to stop their running attack.
Good luck today. Thank you.
Gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave quiet way, o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Rod McAllister representing U.S.
More from Project New Hope, members of the United States military, and Bill Moore saying that up at the retreat at Project New Hope right now, they have 31 female veterans up there for a weekend retreat, and they do such a great job in helping veterans and serving them as well. Tom Godek is the head coach of Southern Connecticut State, and the Owls 2-2 in league play. They lost to New Haven and to Bentley. Andy McKenzie, in his first year as the head coach of the Assumption Greyhounds, was a longtime assistant at Holy Cross, a quarterback's coach, was the offensive coordinator as well, had tremendous success there with the Crusaders, won a Patriot League title in 2009, and as you mentioned in the open, Southern Connecticut won the first 10 games of this series, and Assumption has won the last 6 games in this series. The all-time series standing at 10-6.
Yeah, Southern Connecticut was a wagon, you know, early on in this. They had some guys to the NFL, Jacques Césaire out of Gardner, playing at Southern Connecticut, and you know they were a tough group. They still are, and they're on their way back. Assumption has a tough test this afternoon. Hounds will kick to start. They'll put their defense on the field first, and you have to look out for Jalen Cundiff, who's a dangerous return man.
They kick away from Cundiff. And one of the up men has it at the 28, and he just barrels straight ahead to the 35-yard line. Just a bowling ball. Elijah Thomas, the freshman, 5'10" and 225 out of Don Bosco Prep in New Jersey, a powerhouse.
Yeah, he's a tight end, and gets a chance to possess the football a little bit. And here's a first look at the offense. Matthew Sapir, redshirt freshman, comes in. He's been efficient. 6 touchdowns, just the 1 interception. Doesn't throw a lot over his last couple of games, but has been efficient and has managed this rushing offense with a runner in Eli Parks, among the best in the country right now and the best rushing attacks in the NE10.
They hand it off to Parks on first down. Parks tries to get to the outside, does turn the corner. First down and more for Parks. And he's out to midfield, a pickup of 15 on the play.
You know, and that's where Southern Connecticut is going to live. They're going to live with Parks, a guy who averages about 5 yards a carry, shows some good bounce to the outside, gets a seal, and is able to get around the safety and pick up some added yards and a first down.
So Sapiri from the shotgun with Parks back there in the pistol. Now he looks to the sideline.
Now both teams coming off a bye. Both teams want to get off to a good start and establish, set the tone.
Sapiri pulls it out, has it himself, and he's dropped for a loss of 1 on the play. Good defense from Assumption as they are all over it right there. Calvin Milner, the junior linebacker, on the stop.
All right, look at the front group for the Southern Connecticut Owls with Daniel Carbonaro, one of the seniors, the senior up front. Eli Parks, the running back. Andre Ridley, one of the featured receivers as well in this offensive group.
Sapiri from the shotgun, man in motion. They hand it off on the jet sweep to the outside. And he's got the corner and a first down and inside Assumption territory down to the 35-yard line. Well designed. Julian Chung, the freshman, picking up the first down for the Owls.
Yeah, and adjusting a little bit. The Assumption defense will adjust a little bit to the speed now of Southern Connecticut, especially the speed to the outside. Chung able to get the corner in another big chunk play.
So Southern Connecticut moving the ball here on their first possession of the game. Inside Assumption territory at the 35 of the Hounds. It's Parks. Parks gains 2 as he tests the interior of that Assumption defense, including Ray Sarkadia in there, the former St. Peter Marian standout.
Big and established group. Bruno, Krasic, Riley, and Sarkadia. And Then it's Jacob, Fancher, and Silva, the linebacking core. Patel, Joe Kim. Young on the corners and experienced in the safeties.
So Southern Connecticut has yet to throw a pass in this drive. It has all been on the ground. So Perry hands it off. Just power football right there. They're stretching it out a little bit, but a flag comes in late. It's just straight power football, and Chung was the runner.
Nice job by Bryce Jacob to get the initial hit. Check the flag. They are signaling it's against the Owls. At least the Assumption players are.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 57. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run.
A big dead ball foul there against Southern Connecticut. You know, they coming off a big win, but they've had some trouble. Just looking at their numbers with the penalties, they racked up well over 100 yards of penalty yardage in a win in their last outing against St. A's.
Well, that's the type of penalty that can just kill your momentum, can kill your drive. You know, Southern Connecticut moving the ball well on the ground.
You know, it was a second down play, and now you don't get the first down, and you backed up 15, it becomes third down, and now you're way behind the chains.
Superi with Parks in the backfield. Superior's yet to throw a pass in this game. He'll do so right now. With time, fires out to the right. It is incomplete. And that penalty, a big play in the first drive as the Owls will send their punting unit on.
Kev, those exact type of situations Andy McKenzie talked to us about this week, what they wanted to force Southern Connecticut into. Third and long, second and long, plays where you're going to have to throw the ball, get out of their comfort zone, which is running the football.
And if Assumption can get up early, they can make Southern Connecticut a one-dimensional team. Something they talked about as well. Deontay Harris, the punt returner, beautiful punt. It's going to be downed inside the 1 yard line. Tremendous punt, and the Hounds offense will come out literally standing on the goal line.
That's Matt Senzero. He's the quarterback, backup quarterback today, and he punts it perfectly inside the 1 yard line. Second week in a row where we've had a team on their first offensive possession start from inside the one. Cody Williams, the starting quarterback, and a guy really flourishing right now in this offense. You see his numbers, 12 touchdowns, just a 1 interception.
That's what stands out to me. He's completing over 70% of his passes, over 1,000 yards, but it's the 12-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Slings it out to the side on the wheel route. It is caught. It is caught by Freddie Akito, and a good pickup on first down to get away from the shadow of your own end zone and pick up the first down.
So important because so many things can happen. You know, you get a hold, you get a penalty, and you're in the end zone, you lose points. And so get a little bit of space and pick up a first down. It's a big first play for the Greyhounds.
10th reception of the season for Akito. Here's Williams. He's going to take it himself. Planned quarterback draw. Tries to get to the outside. Had some space up the field early, but he does pick up 5 yards on first down.
All right, Assumption up front. They've got some big guys on the ends, and Quentin Hall and Jason Rice, and they are the power of that offensive line. Khalid Exum strong. You'll see Doug Santos as well, along with a talented core of receivers, including Deontay Harris.
Santos on the carry. Santos straight ahead, pulling his way forward. Khalid Exum strong and Doug Santos, the two strongest players on the team, according to their head coach, Andy McKenzie.
Yeah, that's
Santos gets the first.
They measure him up, and these two guys, I mean, Santos he's like a running brick. He is a one big muscle just running down the field.
Out of Peabody, Massachusetts, 5'8", 200 pounds, Doug Santos. They have a three-headed monster, 3 running backs, all run very hard, do well, and then, of course, Williams, too. Here's Deontay Harris with his first catch of the ball game. And Cody Williams threw a dart to him out to the 41.
Yeah, and expect J.Shar Howell and other safeties to be over there trying to help as much as they can. He got there just a shade late, and Williams delivered it into Deontay Harris for a first down.
Now Harris is healthy for the first time all season. 2 weeks ago, his coach said it was the first time all year he's been full go at the game at AIC. Then they had the bye week, and it is picked off. And so the Owls come up with a big play defensively. The linebacker, Quadir Delgado McIntyre.
You know, and he's not a very big guy, just 5'7", and wonder if Williams even saw him there with the line bearing in, thought he could get it over him to Akito, and nice play to take it away. And a first turnover of the game goes to Southern Connecticut State.
Yeah, he was just sitting there, McIntyre in the zone coverage, able to read the quarterback's eyes.
They put a lot on the quarterbacks in the Assumption game plan, and something that Williams will learn from and make adjustments in this game.
Here's Parks on first down. Parks, some tough running. He's stacked up after a short gain and dropped by the Assumption defense. The linebacking crew in there. Bryce Jacob, one of the veterans on this defense. So many of them, the defensive core, the front seven, seniors or grad students.
Yeah, I really like the way Calvin Milner, the junior's playing early on. He was sticking his nose right there in the football as well. Caleb Silva's also in the mix, and you know you've got guys that can really spread the wealth, and they got Levi Fancher on the captain's back this week. That helps out in that linebacking core.
Assumption showing blitz. Now they back off. Sapiri keeps it himself. He's got a lot of room up the field. He's got a first down and more. Stiff arm, and it's a fumble. It comes out late, and Assumption says they have it. Assumption says they have the ball, and they do. So the Hounds cause the turnover, and Calvin Miller comes up with it. The junior recovering the fumble.
This is a great play by Southern Connecticut and their backup quarterback, Sanzaro. He gets around Joe Kim after a great ball fake, and it is stripped free, and Milner comes away with it at the bottom of the pile. I think it was Silva who stripped it. Caleb Silva, 23, comes in late and makes something happen. And the Greyhounds get a turnover. They're a takeaway defense, and they get another one.
Well, they're a bend but don't break defense as well, is what their coach told us this week, as Williams with a good carry on first down. Said they bend but don't break. We've seen that the first 2 times that they've been on defense today. Brenna Wilson, the third member of our broadcast crew, is down on the field. Brenna?
Yeah, you guys mentioned this earlier, but head coach Andy McKenzie, prior to come to Assumption, was up at Holy Cross as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for a few years. While there, he was coaching with Mike Pedoni. Now, what's special about this is back in 2009, when they made it to the Patriot League title, a young Zach Pedoni was there on the sideline watching, and now as a freshman, he's playing for Andy McKenzie here at Assumption.
Thank you, Brenna. And here is Khalid Exum Strong, just pinballing off of defenders and picks up another first down.
Yeah, Strong is a great name for this running back, because Khalid Exum Strong really moves the ball, and he's a north-south guy who likes to make contact and bounces for big yardage.
Yeah, Zach Pedoni's dad, Mike Pedoni, and Andy McKenzie coaching together for years at Holy Cross. Tremendous respect those two have for each other. Williams dumps it underneath, and Santos with a nice grab out of the backfield. Santos has a first down to the Southern Connecticut 40-yard line. McKenzie talked about the ability of his running backs to catch the football.
Yeah, and you know, this is a different offense than a year ago, where the quarterback has the kind of the options at the line to go through his reads and his progressions and make the decision to find the open man. Santos was the open man there, a little safety valve play, picking up a first down.
Williams, the circle route out of the backfield. Santos hurdles the tackler and gets inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line.
Quarterbacks like Mark Monks and Toby last year and Williams, they would have it designed, all right, here's your guy. This is the guy you're throwing it to. At this point, when they come to the line of scrimmage, they have an idea, but they look for the open man first and go through their reads. There's a few more wrinkles on the quarterback this season than there was a year ago.
Williams has done a tremendous job in learning this new offense and battling for the starting position, too. Here's Santos again. Santos picks up 2. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
All right, Matthew Weiss, a big guy on that defensive line. There's the look at the starters for Southern Connecticut State. Rashid Pierre and Brandon Pelzer among the linebackers there. And already seen a bunch of different guys in the defensive secondary, including Kyle Armour and Miles Thomas.
3rd and 6, and now Williams looks to the sideline. They see how the defense adjusts to the formation, and then there's the pre-snap reads, there's the post-snap reads, adjusting the coverage, the blocking schemes up front. There's a lot on the quarterback, and Williams handles it all very well. Steps up, throws a missile underneath, and it's caught by Harris. Harris jitterbugs down to the 20-yard line. First down for Assumption after a 16-yard completion. Williams to Deontay Harris, the most electric player in the league.
Yeah, no question about it. And you mentioned really just got back into form in the week before the AIC game. He's now had a bye week, and you can see that extra little spark when he gets the ball in space. I mean, it's almost panic time. You got to get him down quick.
2 to 3 NFL scouts come up every week and have been here all week, all season long, to look at Deontay Harris. Andy McKenzie saying every team in the NFL has been through at least once to look at Deontay Harris, and they continue to come back every week to get a look at him.
And they've really had a couple looks at him, for a few years, because they were here to see Ashton Grant a lot last year, and Deontay Harris impressed throughout the season as well.
2nd down and 6. Williams with Khalid Exum-Strong in the backfield. Ty Beck is in there as the H-back. Ty Beck, 10 catches. He's got 4 touchdowns. And here's Strong. Exum-Strong up to his name as he barrels down to the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Assumption.
You know, it's just a luxury for Andy McKenzie and his offensive coaches to have a Doug Santos and a Khalid Exum-Strong. Neither of these guys are going to carry the ball 30 times, 25 or more times a game. They've come in both with under 50 touches from the rushing standpoint this year, and that's because they can just power through, but they spell each other very well.
Here's Khalid Exum-Strong as he gets inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line. Some tough sledding down there as the clock running here. Under 4.5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. We are scoreless. Assumption and Southern Connecticut. Kevin Shea with Andy Lacombe and Brenna Wilson. We thank you for tuning in for this great NE10 battle.
On the outside, you've got Tyus Boykin in the slot, top of your screen, and Kyle Sonny, 2 guys that have really come on. And Boykin came into the game tied with Deontay Harris for the most catches this year.
Here goes Williams, looking to the end zone. Williams under pressure, keeps the play alive. Flag comes down, and Williams goes down as well, and this one will probably be on the offensive line of Assumption, a hold.
And Jaron Wallace should get credited with a sack unless they take this penalty, but
Holding. Offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
now this is where Williams looking to that side where Boykin was to start. Wasn't there initially, and then the pressure came. Wallace with the stop in the backfield, but the hold pushes Assumption back 10 yards.
So now they're at the 19. It is 2nd and goal from the 19, but what this does open up some more room and some space for guys like Tyus Boykin, who Tommy Hendrickson, his coach at high school at St. Peter Marion, called the best athlete that he's ever coached. Here's Williams handing it off. Exum-Strong's got some room, and he's back down to the 10-yard line, so they're back where they started. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 10.
And Assumption's C.J. Herson, a tight end, a sophomore, got a great block on the outside. 34, you see him there. He gets the key block on the play to spring Exum-Strong for the yardage.
Williams will go from the shotgun. Sonny and Boykin on the left side, just 2 wide receivers in this set. They go strong right with a tight end and a wingback on the right side.
Falaki, a big target, the tight end. Hasn't had a lot of catches this year. 3 touchdowns a year ago.
Williams looks to the left. He's got a man wide open, slings it out to Boykin. Boykin stretching for the pylon. He touches it for the touchdown. Tyus Boykin, the former St. Peter Marion standout, stretching for the end zone. A tremendous effort his second touchdown reception of the season. It's 6-0 Assumption.
Big start for the local guy, and Boykin, now a senior, has got that level of maturity about him. The guys on the sideline really look up to him, and he catches big passes, whether it's first downs or that's his second touchdown of the year. But he always seems to be a target when they need a play.
And now Jacob Tondell with the point after, up and through. And Assumption has struck first. It is 7-0 Hounds here in the first quarter.
What's up? I'm Tom, and this is Two Things with Tom. Thing number one, Worcester Railers hockey is family fun. Bring the family and have a blast at the DCU Center in Worcester. Thing number two, Worcester Railers hockey is wicked affordable. Railers tickets start at just $15. Enjoy a great night out with your family or friends. Hockey is back. Hockey is back in Worcester. Give us a call, go to RailersHC.com and come see us at the rink.
Tyus Boykin is wide open, swinging out into the flat, and he just makes a great athletic play to stretch for that pylon. Williams delivers him the football. A lot of guys you have to account for, and Boykin gets free. His second touchdown of the year. But always seems to be a guy they go to in big spots. I mean, he's a guy that they go to get a lot of first downs. Tyus has, 13 of his 22 catches coming into the game were for first down yardage. Big fella gets it again.
From Assumption, and great coverage by the Hounds on the special teams. Justin Assad, the junior receiver from Melrose, getting down there and making a nice stop.
Elijah Thomas has to be wondering, hey, man, they must really think I can't return the ball. I'm a freshman tight end. They're going after him the first two kicks. Now, you have Southern Connecticut, who moved the football, the bend that don't break defense that you discussed, Kev, for Assumption. They've moved the football the first two possessions. Gave it up on a turnover on the last time out. And Assumption made it hurt.
And it is Parks, make it Chung. Chung dropped in the backfield. A loss on the play, and Assumption's playing with some fire now. It was Trenton Wright, the defensive end from Natick, that got him.
Yeah, and then Edwards comes up and delivers a pop there at the end of the play. Fired up. Assumption's, that score sparks that defense a little bit. They're going to the football.
And now Fury coming back into the ball game. Second down and 12. He's going to throw over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Hunter Flugel, the senior from New Bedford. He had him on a skinny post, but just missed him. And this is what Coach McKenzie talked to us about, of making this Southern Connecticut team one-dimensional, making them do things that they're not comfortable doing, and that's throwing the ball downfield. They can hit on some big plays, and did do that against New Haven and against Bentley, but it is not their strength.
No, and when you're playing from behind the chains, again, uncomfortable situations. See if Assumption tries to put some pressure on the young QB. They look like they're coming.
Now they back it off. And Southern Connecticut's going to need a timeout.
They made them think about it. It's just experience, too. You got 5 starts in your belt, or 5 games under your belt. If you're Saperi, the young quarterback, and it's just one of those things. As you see Assumption bringing different things at you, maybe a wise call. Take that timeout and think about it.
All right, we'll take a timeout as well and be back with more from Assumption right after this.
Bison Pride is the feeling that you get when you're with all of your Nichols friends and you're rooting for your team and your school and your community.
Even though we are a smaller school, you feel the big school vibe here.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Southern Connecticut coming back onto the field. You mentioned about them being a wagon, and Joe Andruzzi, some guys in the NFL that played at Southern Connecticut State. Joe Andruzzi was one of the famous guys from around here that Patriots fans remember. Well, the ultimate T-Hawk, Mike Volcano, who's a longtime assistant coach here at Assumption, he's a Southern Connecticut grad. Class of 1980, he played football for Southern Connecticut. He does such a tremendous job coaching the Assumption football team and working with the running backs. Superior under pressure, dumps it off to Chung. Chung trying to make a move, wrapped up. Great open field tackle by Caleb Silva. And the defense has held the fort again for Assumption.
Yeah, and so Assumption shows blitz there, but really only bring 4. They drop a lot of guys back, 7 guys back in coverage, and so there's not a lot of room. They got pressure with the 4 guys, too, did Assumption, which forced Superior to go underneath, and there was not a lot of yardage to be had.
And if you're Southern Connecticut, you're looking down at Deontay Harris, one of the most dangerous return men in the nation, and saying, oh, boy.
Yeah, now you're not in the position where you can try to try to down it inside the 1. You're going to have to get into 1 or corner this one somewhere, go right to a sideline.
And this is a low line drive, takes a hop. Harris picks it up, using his speed, trying to get to the outside. Flag comes down. Harris still on his feet. And this one will come back, unfortunately for Assumption. Harris with a pretty good return. Guys all over him in his hip pockets, and he's still able to make something happen.
Yeah, check the flag. Almost always against the return team here. So I ran into Mark Monks down there, the starter slash 1A quarterback now.
Yeah.
He's had such a great career here, and was battling some nagging things as well this year. And
receiving team, number 20. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Monks and Steve Bachalia, the freshman, they've got maroon hats on down there. It's not Assumption, they got the quarterback hats on. They're maroon, though. I wonder what that's about.
I don't know.
See if Brennan can get a look at what those hats are down there.
Maybe
look, it's red. It's maroon Assumption hats.
Yeah, they're probably signaling plays.
Yeah.
And check, so it's easy to pick them up with the maroon hats on the sideline.
Specially made for quarterbacks, huh?
Steve Bachalia's father, Steve, played football here as a defensive lineman. He was 5'9", 225. I said, you were the Joe Klecko of your time. He said, no, not exactly. He goes, it was a different era of football in the early 90s here.
You know what it was? There was a grass field here.
Yes.
And it was boots season all the time.
That's a good point.
If you were the elder Buchalia, not on game day, but you were wearing boots a lot.
And anyone that came up to visit Sean Mulcahy knows that boot season was in full effect. Sean Mulcahy played here. Mike Malley, Jamie Tucker, Justin McKay. You think of all these guys, Jay Costa, all these guys in the Central Mass football circles that played at Assumption. That's the end of the first quarter. Assumption looking to win their 5th in a row, and they lead Southern Connecticut 7-0 after 1.
Providing our customers with the highest level of quality, service, and value. Pucci's Fine Jewelry, 205 West Boylston Street in West Boylston. Looking for a local lender you can trust? Come to Milford Federal. Our great rates, low closing costs, and personalized customer service have made us your family financial center for over 130 years. Apply online or visit us at one of our branches today.
Sullivan Group is an insurance and risk management services firm based in Worcester for over 60 years.
Our company values? Our family values.
Committed to our clients and finding them the best solutions.
Committed to being independent.
Committed to our community.
We live here, we work here, we volunteer here.
The Sullivan Insurance Group.
Committed to excellence.
And welcome back, everyone, to Assumption's Field, the dog track, if you will. Cody Williams, I'm going to name it. They need a name.
Yeah, it does need a name.
You know, Khalid Exum Strong, 5 carries, 33 yards. Is Assumption in that first quarter, a very balanced attack, running and throwing the ball with Williams.
Could be Cold Tracy Field. You never know. In the
I
near
like
future.
that. Here's Williams, got some room to run, directing traffic, hurdles the man, and the ball's on the turf. But let's see.
They're going to rule him down.
Yeah, I think
that
they're
ball
gonna
hit
say-
the ground and then came loose.
And he's close to a first down. So let's see where they spot the football, because look where he puts the football. Yeah, it's about a yard short. But look where it is, though. It's close to where the
Close.
sticks are.
Tough
Actually, probably
they're
should
gonna
be a
move it.
first down.
They're moving him. They are moving him, Kev.
That's dangerous, though. The right hand, look at his right wrist when he does that. I'm sure the coaching staff had their hearts in their throats.
Almost had to get that maroon hat off of Monks.
Santos bangs forward for maybe a yard. Some tough sledding.
Well, one of the guys that Andy McKenzie, as you get a look at one of the big guys, Brandon Pelzer, but one of the guys that Andy McKenzie really signaled out was Weiss, number 70. Matthew Weiss and a couple of these guys up front can really make things tough for a running attack. The Southern Connecticut defensive front.
Yeah, he described him as a stud. It's a screen to Santos, and that's blown up. That's just good defense from Southern Connecticut. They were all over that one.
Yeah, they kind of pushed the quarterback back. It was a little too slow to develop there, and the linebackers recovered easily and able to make a play after maybe a yard or two.
Navon Austin on the stop, the freshman for the Owls. 3rd down and 6 for Assumption. Williams looks underneath the tight end, Ty Beck, and he's got a first down.
Like
well
this
designed,
design.
well executed.
Yeah,
Ty Beck.
Like this design. You almost have two sides of screens. You don't go to one, you come back and Beck's waiting there, and it's blocked up really well in front by the Greyhounds. The big fella's out in front, but you get good exterior blocks from your receivers on that side, including Freddie Akito.
And what you're doing now is you're spreading that defense out sideline to sideline. Now they try to go underneath Santos.
The ball carrier.
Yeah, Big Weiss got a piece of him there to start. But this is what Assumption wants to do: establish the run, power football. There's Weiss. He is a big dude out there, and can really play. He's a junior, 6'2", 255. Looks a little bigger than that.
Yeah, they got him on one program. They have him listed as 275, which he looks closer to.
Yeah.
At 275. He's a tough guy to move. Williams under pressure, has Strong on the sideline, and a juggling catch, but the defense closing quickly on Khalid Exum Strong.
Yeah, ball came free, it looked like at the end there, but right on the sideline out of bounds. And that play just disrupted again, timing-wise, and then when Exum Strong could not secure it immediately, he almost had nowhere to go.
Yeah, Monks and Bachalia both signaled in plays, so one of them is probably the dummy and one of them is the live call.
That, of course, is no indication on their GPAs.
No. 3rd and 12. Williams has room. Here comes the defense. Williams with a stiff arm and is going to have a face mask. Beautiful job by Williams taking on the defense, and he drew that call. The linebacker was closing, and Williams threw a good stiff arm on him. Walter Payton would appreciate that, old school football.
Here's the call.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 7, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's two big calls in big spots against Southern Connecticut State. One ended the drive, and then this one is going to extend an Assumption drive.
They are huge momentum swings. Big momentum swings, each penalty. And probably a big reason that first penalty, the 15-yarder that went against Southern Connecticut, probably a big reason why they're not on the scoreboard, because they were in field goal position, in field goal range at that time. Here's Santos. Santos trying to spin through the wash at the line of scrimmage. A hard charging 5 yards for Doug Santos.
The other thing, too, is Williams maybe a little quick to run, but, he puts his body out there on the line. running that last play. Got the penalty, and it worked out. But, you know, it's something to be said about some self-preservation as well. He is a dual threat, and that's a big part of his game.
Oof. And Williams gets buried.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
They want to keep him healthy.
I'm not sure Southern Connecticut didn't get away with one there. As you see the big guy right there, Vance Upham, kind of put a forearm to the helmet after he was in the slide.
Well, Assumption's shown a lot right now for this Southern defense to look at. The last drive, a lot of screen passes. They haven't really taken a deep shot down the field yet. Deontay Harris is not in the game. Here's Santos on the wheel route out of the backfield. Santos with a first down, but a flag comes in late. And this one may come back.
Flag is well away from the play. Looks like a chop block.
Yeah.
Personal foul. Block below the waist. Offense. Number 8.
That's against Tyus Boykin.
Third down.
They're trying to get some clarification on it there, but that's a big penalty to march Assumption back. It takes a first down off the board. But how about that little swing out pass to Santos? There was a defensive end almost in his hip pocket.
Yeah, Assumption right now is trying to use that Southern rush against themselves. Trying to just take what the defense is giving you, and the defense is coming hard, pinning their ears back, so let them come and then try to hit them with screens, drop it right behind them. And Southern showing blitz again. Here they come. Williams steps up, has time, fires, and it is complete. And we'll see where the forward progress is, Mark.
You know what?
Short. They're going to mark it
I'm
short.
not sure that his forward progress wasn't at the 35.
I thought
he
so,
didn't
too.
take a step back. He was thrown back.
Yeah, Kyle Sawney was the receiver.
I think this is a tough spot. Let's get a look here. Does he make a move? No.
No.
No move. That's a first down. He made no backwards movement.
Nope.
He got spun back. He lost 2 yards when he should have the first down.
Yeah, that's a tough call. That's a real tough call.
Bad spot.
They're going to go for it on fourth down. Santos is in the backfield. Again, we have not seen Deontay Harris as a receiver since early in the first quarter. Here comes the blitz, and a flag comes in late. A timeout is taken by Assumption. Let's see if they pick the flag up because the timeout called first. All right, we'll take a quick break and be back with the fourth down play for Assumption right after this.
Holy Cross football is back in Worcester. Don't miss family fun and Division I football right in your backyard. Tickets start at just $15. Visit goholycross.com/tickets or call 1-844-GO-CROSS.
All right, you see the very bottom of the screen with the white hood is number 1, Deontay Harris. Doesn't have his helmet on right now. He's a player that, again, he's coming off surgery in the offseason on his ankle. And 2 weeks ago against AIC, they said it was the first time all season he was full go, had the bye week. They were really excited about what he could do. Obviously such a dynamic player, but he has not been in there at wide receiver since the first quarter, and he had that last punt return where he took a hit near the end of the punt return.
Look at this spot. You know, he's at the 35.
He's thrown backwards, though. So forward progress is at the 35. The progress is at the 35.
Yeah.
No matter what else happens. That's a tough call. 4th and 2. Williams pulls it out. Williams on the run, now throws and throws it away. And so the defense of Southern Connecticut holds, and they take over on downs.
Now, it's a fortunate stop there for Southern Connecticut State. They had the penalty to extend it, then they get a break on a spot, and they get the ball back. Defense has been tough, and they've had some good pressure from their front four up front. David Spears Jr. has been in that backfield a couple of times, it seems like. Here's that running quarterback.
Matt Sanzaro is the quarterback. Now, last year in this game, Assumption sacked the Southern quarterback 7 times. This year, Southern Connecticut State's only given up 4 sacks total all year long. And they hand it off on first down. And it's Eli Parks, the talented senior, the leading rusher in the NE10.
And he runs into Joe Kim, who snuffs it out after a couple. Kim always seems to be around the ball. He's in a little bit different position this year than he was a year ago in this defense, a little more traditional look, and he's more of a traditional safety this year than kind of a linebacker slash safety from a year ago.
Here's Sanzaro. Sanzaro was the starter the first 4 games of the year, and he'll keep it himself. Breaks a tackle. Still on his feet across midfield into Assumption territory down to the 47-yard line. Goes Matt Sanzaro, the redshirt junior.
Well, Sanzaro is 6 foot 185, but he looks and runs a little stronger than that. Just bounces off a couple guys there. Keeps his feet for a solid first down.
There's Sanzaro. Again, was the starter for the majority of this season.
Yeah, you're
Perry
not
just started the last 2 games.
You're not going to have as many sacks, too, when you run the ball as often as this team has, and that offensive line is big.
There's Parks, breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, slips 2 more, and gets down to the 40-yard line. Wow. You talk about some great moves and some nice footwork. Parks.
Yeah, you know, an Assumption's going to look at the film here in the first half, and they're going to see a bunch of missed tackles. You know, and a lot of it is due to the athleticism of the running back, but they've got a couple of opportunities to take some shots at him and haven't been able to wrap them up.
Ray Sarkadia made the tackle. Another former St. Peter Marian standout, a grad student here and one of the leaders on this team, a quiet leader, according to his coach. Sarkadia coming from the bottom of the screen, and it is incomplete. Joe Kim was in coverage.
Yeah, and you know what? Joe Kim broke on the ball well. Got there at the right time to make sure Chung didn't have a shot at it.
Joe Kim, one of the leaders on this team, one of the captains of the team, a co-captain, but he's a veteran. He's been multi-year starter on that defense. Used to playing a little bit more in the box in the old defensive scheme. Now he's back there as a true safety.
2 big tight ends just into the game for Southern Connecticut. They're going heavy package here.
3rd and 4 for Southern Connecticut. Sanzaro hands it off, and Parks gets the first down. Kim took him down, but Parks showing his strength, 5'11", 195. Yards after contact, he's able to get the first.
They drove the safety back there, did Parks. And Joe Busereth, an offensive lineman, a redshirt junior out of Brooklyn, New York, looked at the Assumption bench, pounded his chest after that first down. Some challenge time things happening here.
And this is one of those games, too, the longer a team can hang around, this is a good team, but you're going to give them confidence. If you're able to get up 2 or 3 scores early, you can deflate a team on the road. But when they're hanging around, they're getting confidence. Sanzaro under pressure, still on his feet. And finally he goes down for a sack. Just the 5th sack allowed by this Southern Connecticut team this year, but you can credit the secondary and the coverage for that sack.
And Calvin Milner's having a nice first half. You know, there were a bunch of guys around. They almost got him there. Then Sarkadia gets in there, and then Fancher and Milner clean him up. Calvin Milner's provided a nice spark when he's been on the field.
Sanzaro with 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Sanzaro hands off to Parks. Parks straight ahead, and that defense just bowing up. Well played. That time it was Jason Flanagan, the junior, crashing down.
Yeah, you know, it's been a tough tough, I can imagine, for Flanagan and some of these upperclassmen to crack into that lineup. They do run a lot of guys through there, but you've got grad students and seniors that have been very good for so long here at Assumption. When you can get in there and make some plays like Flanagan just did, that's big-time stuff.
Now this is the situation. The Owls generally not their strength. 3rd down and long. 3rd and 11. Cesaro to throw. Has time. Now going deep. Has a man, and it is incomplete. A corner route, a deep corner route, and Cesaro did a nice job to put it up in the air and let his receiver run under it. Just could not haul it in. Flugel was the intended receiver.
Flugel was open. He just could not come down with the football. Cesaro put it right where he had to with the Assumption zone.
A new punt returner back for Assumption, so Deontay Harris, again, we're speculating that he's dinged up because we have not seen him. He had that punt return where he got knocked out of bounds, and we haven't seen him since. We haven't seen him on offense since the first quarter. Here's a low line drive of a kick. You have to watch out if you're Assumption. It's another beautiful punt, though. Southern pinning Assumption deep in their own territory, their own 9-yard line. The Greyhounds offense will come out.
Well, I did get a note from the sideline from Brenna Wilson that they were working on the ankle of Deontay Harris earlier, taping or retaping the ankle. But that's what we know at this point. And again, you know, coming off an injury, just been really at it full for a couple of weeks. You, out of an abundance of precaution, you keep him out for a little while.
That would certainly be a blow to Assumption because you know that they were so excited. Here's Tyus Boykin. Boykin's got a first down and more. Boykin makes a man miss. Out over the 30 to the 32-yard line. That's how you get out of the shadow of your own end zone quickly.
And Assumption is fearless in these situations. They go outside to Tyus Boykin. He's open again. He's caught another pass for another first down. Seems like that's all he does is catch first downs and touchdowns.
And here I think is the freshman, JoJo Kellum. We got our first look at him. JoJo Kellum, the freshman running back, part of that 3-headed attack that Assumption has. And one of the beauties of having 3 running backs that are all good, that are all complete running backs, can catch in, run the football, is they'll all be fresh, and physically it certainly helps them during a long season. Here's Kellum again. Gets a great block from Boykin on the edge. And Kellum gets out to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, right you are. And Kellum, what he does is he brings a little bit more speed and elusiveness to the running back position for Assumption. So he's a good guy to get out in space. And look at Tyus Boykin take on the block, and pretty good yardage there. 3rd and manageable now for Assumption. 4.
It's tough to hit the deep ball against this cover 2 defense, but you're setting it up with the quick circle routes and screens to get those safeties to pinch up, and now it's picked off. Second interception of the game, and inside the 20, corralled down, but it is Cordier Delgado McIntyre, the sophomore, with his 2nd pick of the day, and a good return as he takes it inside the red zone down to the 13.
Yeah, and he's just sitting back there in the zone, and was the ball tipped at the line of scrimmage where it would end up there. Well, the ball just came out funny, it looked like. And the pick, Boykin was the closest receiver. Big opportunity here. Big opportunity for the Owls.
Cesaro is your quarterback. Parks, the running back. Let's see if Southern Connecticut can cash in. And this time it is the different running back. This is Voshan Fowler, the redshirt senior. And the rain had started, it appears it stopped now, but we did get a brief spell of rain after that dried up a bit. You don't know if on that last pass if Williams just didn't get a good grip on the football.
Yeah, that ball slipped through, and you could tell by just the the way it was traveling in the air. It was not a spiral by any means, and right in the arms of the defensive back. Well, Fowler's a tough running back. More than 5 yards per carry so far this year and 3 touchdowns.
This defense has been a bend, but don't break defense, according to their coach. And he'd love to see him hold the fort here with their backs to the wall. Fowler gets inside the 5 down to the 2-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for Southern Connecticut. They're knocking on the door.
Yeah, and good blocks up front. This offensive line, you know, they know how to run block. They do it more regularly than most. And they get out there and get after it. Some big blocks up front from this group.
All right, let's see. It's 1st and goal for Southern Connecticut. Sanzaro, the quarterback. Fowler gets the call. Fowler trying to get to the end zone, and he did not get it. Good job by that front 7 of Assumption. Bowing up and holding the fort. Sarkadia was one of the men in there at the bottom of the pile. Ray Sarkadia, such a strong player.
It is physical in there right now. There's some extra physicality being dished out there in the play.
Full house backfield now for Southern Connecticut. You got 2 tight ends in there, and Parks is the tailback deep. This is old school 80s football. Sanzaro under center, play action on the bootleg, a wedge waggle. Now Sanzaro under pressure. Now to the end zone, caught for the touchdown. Sanzaro kept that play alive with his legs, and he drew the defense in. And when they got too close, his tight end was able to get deep, and Josh Wells hauls it in for the touchdown. And the Owls are on the board.
Yeah, it almost looked like Assumption had that play scouted out. It seemed like a smaller, faster group in there against a big lineup. And they had the initial read of the tight end fullback in the flat. They had that snuffed out, and then John Wells able just to get free. Thanks to the feet of Sanzaro.
That is old school 80s football, though, running the wedge waggle down there on the goal line.
All right, there's the look, and this is the end of the play. Sanzaro keeps it alive with his feet, able to get it out, and John Wells in the back of the end zone. Maybe the hardest catch to make when you're that wide open to make the big play. College football on Charter TV 3, brought to you by Unibank, the Sullivan Group, Pucci's Fine Jewelry, Milford Federal, and Harrington Physician Services.
Well, what's a killer is it happens with 45 seconds left in the first half, too. You get that tying touchdown with under a minute to play in the half. You got a brand new ball game here.
Yeah, and Assumption, they got a chance at 45 seconds if they can try to double up here. They get the ball to start the third quarter.
Let's see what Assumption has. Freddie Akito, one of the men back deep for Assumption. You would think if you're Southern Connecticut that you're going to kind of squib this one, but we'll see. They're going to boom it away. Akito going back to his end zone, picks it up. He's going to bring it out. Here comes Akito, gets a wicked block in front of him. And Akito spun down at the 20-yard line.
Well, 38 seconds for this offense. See what they do. You're in a situation, where 9 times out of 10 you're going to be pretty conservative here, run the football, and go into the locker room tied at 7, knowing you're going to get the ball back. But Assumption, they're an offense that can make big plays, and one of their big play guys, and Deontay Harris, isn't out there. So let's see what they draw up.
Let's see, Cody Williams the senior. From the shotgun, Williams throws it out to Santos. Santos spins off of one tackle and picks up 2 or 3 and gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 28 seconds remaining.
Clock is still running.
They got to keep going.
Yeah, the clock, about 8 seconds ran off the clock. 7 seconds ran off the clock after he went out of bounds to see. Safe call, though, on first down. You know, almost like a run, a little quick hitter.
There we go, 28 seconds.
So they put
on the
5
clock.
seconds back up on the clock.
3-yard pickup on that pass completion brings up the second.
3 receivers to the bottom of the screen, 1 to the top of the screen for Williams on 2nd down and 7. Williams looks to his left, a little underneath shot to Boykin, and they're right on it, and is the man of the hour right now for Southern Connecticut. Number 22, McIntyre, who already has 2 interceptions on the day, and he was right in the hip pocket that time of Boykin.
Yeah, they're going to let this thing run down. They can run a play if they wish. They don't have to, though.
Yeah, they'll let this clock run out and go into the locker room. Tied up at 7 apiece. So Assumption struck first to take a 7-0 lead, and then the McIntyre interception, a big play in the game in the second quarter as Southern Connecticut turns it into points. And they tie the game up with a touchdown with 45 seconds left in the first half. And at the end of the first half, we are all tied up at 7 apiece. And Brenna Wilson's down on the field now with Coach Andy McKenzie. Brenna?
Coach, tough going into the second half with that, but what do you have to continue to do in the second half to kind of keep your momentum rolling?
Well, credit to Southern. They're playing a good football game. We've made a bunch of mistakes. We've had some unfortunate penalties, untimely penalties. You know, it's a good football game. We anticipated this football game, so our guys will be ready to come out in the second half with the ball.
Awesome. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you to Brenna. Thank you to Coach McKenzie. The adjustments will go on now in both locker rooms, and we'll see what happens. We will take a timeout here, though, at the half. It is Assumption 7, Southern Connecticut 7. We're back with all of our halftime activities right after this.
As I sit here, I'll tell you greater things. You're no longer a part of someone else's dreams. So much for you. You come on this.
With my Bay State Savings Bank mobile app, I don't need to drive to a local branch to deposit my money. I can deposit a check just by taking a picture on my phone. Anywhere, anytime. Done. I just saved on gas and saved myself some time. It's a win for everybody.
For everybody?
For everybody.
For everybody? For everybody.
For everybody.
I know.
Bay State Savings Bank is proud to sponsor the Friday Night Football Frenzy. Bay State Savings Bank. We take banking personally.
Accidents involving distracted driving injured over 400,000 Americans last year. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car or motorcycle accident, before you call your insurance company, call the law offices of Joseph J. Corriglia. Our attorneys have helped tens of thousands of clients receive millions of dollars in settlements for over 50 years. Don't stand alone against the big insurance companies. Call the law offices of Joseph J. Corriglia for a free consultation. We don't get paid unless you do.
Right now, Bertera Nissan's offering several new models, the Nissan Kicks and the Nissan Leaf.
Come down and see us right now for our model year-end closeout event. We have to sell these 2018s, and the rebates are incredible.
Bertera Nissan's also going to offer our local employers better discounts than everybody else. If you currently work for UMass, Fallon, Wyman Gordon, St. Gobain's, and several other companies, we're going to offer you an increased discount above and beyond what everyone else sees. Come on and join us here at Bertera Nissan on Route 20 in Auburn.
Local news from Central Massachusetts for Central Massachusetts.
High levels of PCB were found in tests around windows and doors. A Holden barn is severely damaged after a fire rips through the structure.
And an in-depth local forecast.
I never had a face for television.
And I'm a little jealous of the kids that have this ability to go away to college. Spring break! That was a coffee break for me and a cigarette.
I get up early every morning with one thing in mind. I want my audience to be informed, engaged, and entertained.
I'm Lisa Condit from the Hanover Theater. Join me every Thursday during Worcester News Tonight at 10 p.m. for the Hanover Theater This Week.
Join me on the Hank Stoltz Experience. People are always asking me, what is the experience? Well, that's the beauty of it. It's everything that has to do with Central Massachusetts.
Welcome to Chamber Exchange, a TV show. My name is Tim Murray, President and CEO of the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome to the Mayor's Forum. I'm Mayor Joe Petty.
And welcome to Central Mass Chronicles. My name is Alan Fletcher. I am your host.
Hello and welcome, WooTube viewers. Thank you for joining us for another episode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Holy Cross Women's Basketball Show. I'm Kevin Shea, alongside the head coach of the Holy Cross Crusaders, Bill Gibbons. Up next on the Friday Night Football Frenzy. First quarter, Wachusett Sam Brewer with a big run.
Shot, score! Oh, look at that score! And the Railers get back-to-back goals.
The Pod Sox are going to win it.
Welcome back at the half. It is currently tied 7-7. We are joined by the Director of Athletics here at Assumption, Jamie Marcoux. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now you're in your first year here at Assumption, and what has it been like so far for you?
It's been a whirlwind, but it's been exciting. Assumption Athletics has been steadily growing and improving over the last 5 to 6 years. So coming in at the point we're at, we can see where our next steps are going to be. And it's just really exciting to be part of something where you get to continue building upon what's there for the foundation and really taking Assumption Athletics to that next level. So, you know, we've been working hard on continuing to evaluate our strategic plan and really prioritizing where our next steps will be, and just making sure that our student athletes here are getting the best experience, as are our fans and the Worcester community.
But prior to coming here, you were at Johnson & Wales, and that's a D3 program. Moving up to a D2 program, what are some changes and challenges that you might face coming up here?
The biggest differences are, you know, we're able to give scholarships here in Division II. In Division III, we weren't able to do that. So that's a different piece to the program that I wasn't used to, but we're working on getting me up to speed on how we manage the scholarship piece. I think the student athletes at Division II and Division III, they're passionate about their sport. They love their sport. I think at Division II, the level that I'm seeing in terms of their skill is a higher level, but again, not across the board. I've seen some very good Division III athletes as well. I think the support has been tremendous. And when I compare the two divisions, when it comes to the compliance and the rules and regulations, I think that's where the biggest difference is. But when I look at my student athletes from both divisions, the love and passion and dedication they have for their sport, for their academics is relatively similar. So it's been a pretty smooth transition.
That's awesome. I'm just going to hand this mic
Sure.
over to you.
Mine not working? All right.
While at Johnson & Wales, you helped bring the athletic program to kind of a high level. What do you think helps make an athletic department great?
Really making sure that your mission and your focus and your strategic plan is in line with that of the institution. And you really need to have institutional support behind you as well, because as much as you may want your athletics program to be successful, it's got to be a buy-in from every level. So when you have your presidents, your board, your upper administration in support of the master plan of athletics, that really helps you to go to the places that you've been hoping to want to get to. But again, you have to make sure that your plans, your strategic focus is in step with your institution's mission and strategic focus. If you're going in different directions, you're not going to get to where you want to get to. So I think that was part of our biggest success there, was really being able to sit down with our university and talk about how can we incorporate athletics into the institution's mission and make athletics a vibrant part of where Johnson & Wales wants to go in terms of marketing, branding, competition, academics. Athletics can interweave itself into all of that, even when it comes to institutional advancement and revenue generation. So when athletics became part of the business model for the institution, that's where we're able to get the buy-in and really build the programs the way that we had been hoping to build them.
You also were instrumental in helping to enhance the fields and facilities down at Johnson & Wales. What kind of goes into that, and how does that help with the program as well, push it to the next level?
Facilities, everyone hears the term arms race, and everyone's trying to build bigger and better facilities. So facilities is always a part of it. It's part of it for the student athletes to be competing on and in a nice facility. It's also part of the marketing and enrollment piece. But a lot of the facilities that you have are not just for your athletes, they're also for your local community when it comes to intramurals, recreation. So when you're able to look at a facility and incorporate into how it can be part of the entire campus and not just for athletics, and even how you can utilize it for the local community. How can they come in and utilize those facilities for revenue for the institution, but also a place for our local community to have a nice facility that they can use. So when you really look at them at the biggest, broadest level, then you can see how that facility will really help to enhance the overall experience for all students, faculty, staff, and the local surrounding area of that campus. So that's really what we did, was sit down and really build the business plan as to why are we building this facility. We're not just building it because we want bigger and better, we're building it because there's a purpose behind it.
Right, we were kind of talking about this earlier. How important is it to be involved in the community? Assumption was hosting some high school games as well, and just how important is that?
It's very important because everyone talks about our student athletes and community service, and that's when we go out to the community and we give back to the community. But really what we want to focus on too is community engagement, where we're bringing our community back onto our campus, whether that's through coming to our games and attending our events and providing support, or if it's utilizing our facilities when there's a need. The high schools don't always have the resources that colleges and universities have. So if we have an opportunity to allow our local high school students and local youth groups to come and utilize our facilities, that's a great experience for the student. It helps provide exposure to Assumption College out to everybody that lives in the Worcester and surrounding areas. It's an enrollment tool for us as well. Come and see how great Assumption is. Maybe it's someplace you may want to attend down the road. And in the meantime, after football games, when you see the little kids out on the field just throwing the football, they love that. So it's all about providing those memorable experiences for our kids, because they're the ones that we want to create the environment for as well.
Now, Providence obviously has many colleges in the area, but Worcester does as well. What do you think, having all these colleges in the area, do you think it's kind of like a competition between the schools, or do you think everyone kind of works together and just makes for a better community?
I think we all work together to build a better community. We all have our niche facilities, our niche areas, our niche sports. So I don't feel like that any of us are really competing in any one area. I think when we can work together collaboratively for the local Worcester community, that's really what is in the best interest for all of us. To try and compete against each other isn't going to help us. It's not going to help anybody. So really building upon each other. There are times when we may need facilities. I know there was a time in August here where we lost power in part of Worcester, and we were reaching out to other local colleges and universities because we may have needed water resources, we may have needed shower facilities, and they were more than willing to work with us on it. So again, we are all there to help each other at the end of the day.
That's awesome. Now, what are you looking forward to now? You're not even fully in your first year yet,
right?
But what are some things that you're looking forward to, either doing and seeing, or just like helping bring to this athletic department?
I think one of the big things on our radar right now is improvement of some of our facilities and expansion of some of our facilities. While we have great facilities, we have one rectangular surface for 6 teams. So we know that is a crunch for our student athletes when it comes to working around class schedules, when it comes to practice times, they're not always optimal. So what can we do to create some additional playing areas here at Assumption for the student athletes, but also for our intramural and club organizations as well. So that's one of the things that we're looking at. We're looking at some of our indoor facilities and what can we do there in terms of some updating and expansions as well. But again, continuing to work with our Assumption campus and our other constituencies here in terms of collaborating on bigger programming for student athletes, for the students on campus. Sometimes you get the mindset with athletics where you just go with athletics, but we have our entire community. We have student affairs, we have residential life, we have our cross-cultural center that we can all work together to bring some bigger, better experiences for our students on this campus. So really working across the board with everybody here, and obviously the continued success of our athletes here. I mean, We finished sixth in the President's Cup standing in the ND10 this past year. We've been in the top 6 the last 4. Really, our goal is to continue pushing into that top 5 and 4 each year. And who knows, maybe someday you'll see us sitting at the top of those standings at the end of the academic year. So that's really our goals.
That's awesome. We're looking forward to all those goals. We're looking forward to seeing more of you and what you can bring to this program as well. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll have much more after the break.
Well, thank you. Have a great afternoon.
We're proud to lead with high school sports stories because we know that's important to our viewers, that's important to our communities. I think it's incredibly unique because you just don't see this amount of coverage other places. We can do 5 and 6 minutes at 10 o'clock, whereas other stations might do 2.5 minutes, and of that, 30 seconds is on high school sports.
It's very easy to be enthusiastic watching these guys play, whether it's high school football or field hockey or lacrosse.
When you see somebody make an outstanding play, you're kind of fired up about that. I come back and I'm like, Kev, I couldn't believe this play I saw in this game.
To see and to kind of be able to capture some of those magic moments when you're there to witness history, that's really cool. We're out there every day shooting the games ourselves and coming back and editing it and writing it ourselves.
You get a certain insight that you don't get if you're, say, in a press box.
We never forget the players that come from Central Mass. Those that are lucky enough to play professional sports, we follow them in the pros.
We never forget those guys coming from Central Mass.
I've had people come up and say to me that, we still watch and we're still fans because they can watch on TV.
Has it brought fans to the game? Has it impacted local sports? I hope so. Coaches tell us it has. Certainly our goal is just to cover the game and to really highlight the positive of high school and local college sports.
And we're enjoying what we do, and I hope that comes across. There's no other place I'd rather be, and there's no other job I'd rather do.
Charter TV3 and UMass Memorial Healthcare have teamed up to bring you the latest news and trends in healthcare. Health Watch, presented by UMass Memorial Healthcare, brings you the healthcare topics that are important to you. From stroke prevention to allergies, skincare to sports injury prevention, and nutrition to pregnancy, Health Watch and UMass Memorial Healthcare informs you on the issues that affect you on a daily basis. Health Watch on Charter TV3. For extended interviews with UMass Memorial Healthcare experts, log on to our website.
Shows ignorance and bias, and he's right to be called out on it.
Bothers me that they just can't get it done.
The city has to make decisions about what business it wants to be in.
The fact that Worcester played a big part in changing this, of course we should be trumpeting.
Power of free speech is a stronger dictate.
Personally, if that ballot question gets on the ballot, I'm voting for it.
You can't get Worcester weather from a Boston TV station. The sun could be shining in downtown Boston, but the weather could be very different here in Worcester. People tell me all the time how much they count on our weather forecast, and we know how important that is to our Worcester News Tonight viewers. Each weekday, we'll give you your weather, your 10-day forecast for right here in Worcester, only on Worcester News Tonight.
Worcester's only local forecast, weeknights on Worcester News Tonight.
And here we are back at the half. Holy Cross Assumption in Southern Connecticut. And you and I were talking about, Andy, the momentum swings in this game as we look at Tyus Boykin, the local kid, and his touchdown that got Assumption on the board. But it was the 2 big interceptions for Southern Connecticut that swung the momentum that way. And there was 2 penalties against Southern Connecticut that swung the momentum in the direction of the Hounds as they capitalized on the second interception by McIntyre to go in for the touchdown on the pass.
Yeah, you had the fumble recovery for Assumption. You saw at the beginning of the highlights that led to a touchdown. And, of course, those penalties. And then the interceptions that Williams gave up to McIntyre that, turned the tide a little bit here. You have 2 teams defensively that are getting pretty good pressure on quarterbacks with just 4 guys. And, the Southern Connecticut defense really started to establish themselves a little bit there in the second quarter, got those key turnovers. They're one-dimensional right now. They're a running team only. They've got maybe 4 yards of 5 passing yards in the first half. So they're one-dimensional in that aspect. Assumption without their guy, Deontay Harris, here, likely in the second half. He had to be limited the first 4 weeks of the season. They won 3 of those games anyway, so they're going to have to make some adjustments offensively to try to get some momentum right off the bat here.
And we look for Tyus Boykin, number 8. He had the touchdown catch in the first half for Assumption. He came into the game as tied for first on the team in reception, second in receiving yardage. He could play a big role here in the second half, and it seems what Assumption's strategy was, at least in the first half, was take what the defense gives you. The defense kind of plays that umbrella, that cover 2, so they don't want to give up anything deep, so they're taking the short stuff underneath and looking to hit one of those. And, you know, in those kind of plays, you're one missed tackle away from a 5-yard gain being a 25, 30-yard gain. And I think if they can get 1 or 2 of those big plays here in the second half, get the momentum and get the offense rolling again.
Yeah, and look for more of that RPO stuff where you've got the quarterback running the football but establishing the run again. They really came out and pounded the football early on in this one, had some success, seemed to get away from it a little bit there towards the end of the first half. Establish that run again. Assumption, it's a brand new game. They've got the football to start, and we've got good football, a good half of football left.
Certainly do. We're tied at 7, and the second half kickoff's coming up next.
Holy Cross football is back in Worcester. Don't miss family fun and Division I football right in your backyard. Tickets start at just $15. Visit goholycross.com/tickets or call 1-844-GO-CROSS.
Doors. Every door is different. Every door, unique. And each one tells a story. Open a door at Unibank and you'll find a unique place. A bank where we listen to you and find answers. All to help you write your unique success story. Welcome to the new Unibank. Please, after you. Unibank. Bank different. Bank unique. Member FDIC. Member DIF. Equal housing lender.
Harrington Physician Services specializes in the understanding, prevention, and management of complex sports injuries and athletic rehabilitation. Whether you need care for a torn rotator cuff or ACL, our board-certified physicians are here to serve you. We offer comprehensive physical therapy and rehabilitation in Charlton, Southbridge, and Webster, and an on-site radiology partnership with Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. To learn more, go to harringtonhospital.org. Harrington Healthcare System. Compassionate, quality care.
All right, welcome back. Assumption will receive the opening kickoff of the second half, and they'll do so without their top return guy, Deontay Harris, in the special teams group right now. So could assume that he is going to be done for the remainder of the day. But the Greyhounds, again, will start with the football, and they get to start over a little bit here, start fresh, and see if they can put this one away. Assumption scores a lot of points, among the leaders in the nation in points per game. They're being held well below their average right now by this very good defense from Southern.
Akito and Spence back deep to receive. It is Spence for Assumption. At the 10, Spence, wall left. He's got a lane. Spence is out to the 40-yard line. A huge return for Assumption to start the second half, but there is a flag on the field.
Another flag on special teams against the Hounds. 49.2 points per game, second in the country right now for Assumption.
Receiving team, number 82, 10-yard penalty, first down.
They're going to need a second half explosion to get to that average.
Deontay Harris has his helmet off. He's on the sideline, still in pads, has his shoulder pads off, but now taking his gloves off. He was talking with the trainer just before that kickoff. I saw him do a little bit of light jogging on the sideline, but just threw his gloves down and just went to the bench to sit down. So that is not a good sign for the Assumption football program.
Maybe lobbying a little bit there, and unsuccessfully.
Williams to throw. Has time. Williams flushed out of the pocket. He's going to run it straight up the middle. Williams with a good gainer out over the 25 to the 27-yard line. It'll be a first down for Assumption.
And he's the leading rusher right now for Assumption. After that first down pickup, had 29 rushing yards in the first half.
Williams slings it out quickly to Boykin. And Boykin pushed out of bounds at the 32-yard line A pickup of 4 on first down.
Just kind of taking some chances on the outside, probing the exterior a little bit. And again, see if there's something in the middle of the football field. Deep.
Cody Williams on second down. Williams has time now. It's picked off. Flag comes down, which will probably go against Assumption. It is the 3rd interception of the ball game for Southern Connecticut. And now the Owls have done it again. David Spears picked it off.
David Spears, active in this game, was in coverage, and the flag's against Assumption.
Decline. First down, Southern
He
Connecticut.
shows off his athleticism with this pick. Great hands. This one just flung out there for the tight end, and Spears jumps in front. Pick it off. Maybe an ill-advised throw for Williams. Not getting a full look downfield.
Remember, Cody Williams coming into the game hitting over 70% of his passes. Really dialed in.
Yeah, and 12 touchdowns to just 1 interception. He's got 3 today.
And so we see the Southern Connecticut Matt Sapiri, the quarterback who started the game. It's the reverse to Chung. Chung gets the sideline, and Chung lowers his shoulder at the end of the run and is stung out of bounds by Joe Kim.
Yeah, well designed, good blocks on this side. Joe Kim has to step in and lay the hit in there, but not after big yards and a first down for Chung.
Sapiri, the offset eye. He's got Parks with him. Parks, the leading rusher in the league. Parks gets the call, and Parks cuts it back up over the tackle.
You know, and Parks
picks up a good game.
Parks just had 6 carries for 19 yards in the first half. I mean, Assumption did their job on the leading rusher in the NE10. You know, they only had, the Owls did, 106 total yards in the first half. Of course, they scored on the short field. It's been their defense setting up the offense, and they can do it again here.
5 yards on the carry by Parks. Second down and 5 for Southern Connecticut inside the Assumption 20. Sapiri hands it off to Parks. Parks follows the good block of his guard, and a flag comes late as Parks stretches for the goal line. He's going to be right down there around the 1 yard line. But let's see what the flag is about. Christian Minea.
Offense, number 10. 10-yard penalty, second down.
A big penalty there negates a first and goal situation. See where they'll spot the ball now. I think it gives them a first down, but it negates the first and goal. Now it's 1st and 10 at about the 12-yard line.
Let's see, Parks. Again, the offset eye. Sapiri goes to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Well covered that time by Assumption. It was Jeremiah Edwards, the sophomore defensive back.
I can understand why you don't want to be one-dimensional, but I don't understand why you're not running the football if you're Southern Connecticut.
No, and they're running very well, too.
By the way, near sideline, Mark Monks has his helmet on. The red hat is off.
Now, we may see him. It's just one of those games that's just not going Cody Williams' way. He's just having one of those days. They hand it off to Parks right here over the guard. And Parks gets inside the 5 down to the 4 yard line. He will be just about 3 yards short of the first down.
Yeah, tough angle. He's just over the 5. He's at the 6. And a big play coming up for this Assumption defense.
Well, if Monks comes into the game, again, you're talking about a 2-year starter, so it's not a normal situation when you have a starter and a backup. As you said, it's kind of 1 and 1A. Here's Matt Sapiri, the redshirt freshman, in at quarterback. Hands it off, and
he's got a first down.
Short of the first down is Eli Parks, short of the end zone, rather.
No, they're going to be just shy of the first down mark, too, with 4th and short coming.
4-yard pickup to the 2. Brings up a 4th down and 1.
Let's see if this defense can hold. This is a big play in the game right now.
Yeah, they're going to go. Not even a thought to bring the kicker out here.
Eli Parks, they've done well running the ball to the right side, to their right, to the short side of the field as we stand, the top of the field. They go straight ahead to Parks. Parks, no, it's a
ball's
fumble.
Down.
An Assumption recovers, and the defense has held. A huge stand for the Assumption defense.
Calvin Milner, defensive MVP to date of today's game. I thought it was a great ball fake. I thought Parks was gone in too, Kevin.
The ball just lost it. He pulled it out at the last minute and lost it.
Wow. That's big time stuff. Now Williams is the quarterback for Assumption at their own 3.
Williams from his end zone hands it off on first down. Khalid Exum-Strong.
And I think if you're Andy McKenzie, you know, and if you're the Assumption coaching staff right now, Andy McKenzie and Tommy Galt, offensive coordinator, Williams still brings that running capability that you need at this part of the field, that dual threat. That's why you don't see Monks likely here.
As you mentioned, too, Monks has been banged up. Here's Santos again. Khalid Exum-Strong, rather, spins through a tackle at the line and gets out to the 4.
There's not a lot there. The big guys are crashing down. Matt Weiss there, number 70, was in the mix again, right at the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 9.
3rd and long. Assumption is not punted yet in this game.
And they have thrown short traditionally today. Boykin in the slot. They looked at him. Uh-oh, Williams is dropped for the safety. Williams is dropped for the safety, so that defense for Southern Connecticut coming up huge again.
Spears.
Interceptions, and now a safety. Spears is the man who picked it off to start the second half, and he's the guy who comes up with the safety.
He comes through on a delayed blitz and gets around the quarterback quickly. Here he comes from the outside, kind of snuck through the wash there. A tough start to this second half for Assumption. Their defense makes a big play, but then the defense of Southern Connecticut comes up with a big play of their own. College football on Charter TV3 is brought to you by the Central Mass Safety Council, Berterra Nissan of Auburn, Holy Cross Athletics, the Worcester Railers Hockey Club, and by Nichols College.
So Assumption's going to have to kick it away. Chung, one of the deep men for Southern.
And here's the first time we see Seamus Wallace today. Strong leg punter. They'll need to get a good one here.
Yeah, he pinned AIC deep inside the 5 twice on punts a couple of weeks ago, but this is a different animal from where he's punting right now, from his own 20. And it's going to be Cundiff.
Wow.
Cundiff at his 25. Cundiff dropped. Good coverage from Assumption and a beautiful punt. Flanagan, the man who made the stop, but Seamus Wallace with a terrific punt.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think maybe it's the way the ball is flying off the foot, why you don't try to grab that in the air. Cundiff gave up a lot of yards, and Assumption got around him quickly. Couldn't have worked out really any better for Assumption.
All right, so we've seen 2 quarterbacks on a pretty regular basis for Southern Connecticut today. And Matt Sanzaro, the redshirt junior, back in there for the Owls. He's as the lone scoring strike for Southern today, the touchdown pass at the end of the first half. And he's on the run here, being chased, and wisely throws it out of bounds to live to fight another day. Bryce Jacob was applying the heat.
Yeah, this is a really good job from Jacob. You know, he's able to keep his eyes on the football and apply the pressure.
Now it's the onus on this defense again. And again, this is a very veteran group, a veteran defensive group here. The onus on them to come up with a big stop.
Yeah, they need to get off the field. You know, they can't let this big offensive line of Southern Connecticut establish themselves and wear away at the Assumption defense.
Handoff to Parks. And he gets forward for a couple yards.
Joe Bruno, grad student, does a nice job. All-league last year, all-league second team his junior year, and spins off the block to make a nice tackle there. Big spot here, 3rd and 6.
This is Sanzaro with Voshan Fowler is his running back. The Assumption crowd getting on their feet. Hounds with 4 down linemen. They'll rush 4. They stunt up front. They get some pressure. And he slides for the first down.
Tough spot on the far
Sanzaro.
side. He's not going to get it.
Ooh.
It's where the football is.
That is a tough spot.
And I don't know, did he do enough? Because he goes into the slide, it's where the football is.
Yeah, that's a tough spot. He went into the slide a couple yards over the 40.
I think he had the first down again. So a tough spot earlier in the game against Assumption on a forward progress call. A tough one here. It evens out. And on the punt, Southern Connecticut.
The sophomore Freddie Akito back deep for Assumption. High snap. The punt is away. Akito. It hits and takes a Southern bounce. Inside the 30, it continues to roll inside the 20, inside the 15, and it's down at the 13-yard line. A beautiful punt for Southern Connecticut as they flip the field.
College football on Charter TV3 presented by the law offices of Joseph J. Cariglia and by Bay State Savings Bank. Offense back out on the field for Assumption. Williams back out there with him. Mark Monks is it looks like he's just getting closer and closer.
You're right.
To being back in this game, but Williams gets another shot here.
And they hand it off on first down. Trying to put a little bit on the shoulders, and that's the freshman as they put a little on the shoulders of that offensive line. JoJo Kellum, the freshman running back, picks up 6.
Yeah, and again, establishing the run so critical to the game plan today.
You could see Tyus Boykin saying, let's go, let's go. They want to get going here. Maybe change the tempo a little bit and put some pressure on this Owls defense, and Williams throws it away as the defense had him down around the 2-yard line.
Yeah, and you know what? The coverage has been good, on these intermediate routes by Assumption. Southern Connecticut's doing a nice job back there. They've made their adjustments after the first possession or two.
This is a big 3rd down. Huge 3rd down right here. 3rd and 4. Assumption needs to get to the 19. Or rather the 24. They need to get to the 24. Williams pressured. Williams on the run, fires it, and juggling and incomplete. It was intended for Kellum. Couldn't pull it in, and Seamus Wallace will come out to punt from deep in his own end.
Well, there's just a little bit missing right now from the spark on that offense. And, there is that guy who can fly downfield who's in Deontay Harris who's not there. But, again, they've had to play without him this year. The difference is you game plan for him this week. He gets more reps, gets a lot of reps, and they have to go back to what worked for him in the first couple of weeks.
Wallace with a low line drive of a kick, and it's a loose football. It hit Southern Connecticut players, and there is a big old wrestling match for that football going on right now down at the bottom of the pile, and Southern comes up with it. The Owls dodging a bullet right there as they'll have it at their own 45. Boy, that would have been the momentum swing that Assumption was looking for.
Yeah, that's a big play, a big recovery from Jalen Cundiff.
There's Mark Monks, number 10. Monks, a 2-year starter, has had tremendous success with this team. And one thing that Andy McKenzie has said from the start of the season is that Cody Williams and Mark Monks have been tremendous about having a 1 and a 1A quarterback. They've supported each other. They've helped each other. It's been a healthy competition, and both guys have elevated their game during the competition. Handoff on first down. Parks into the secondary. Parks getting chased from behind, and he holds onto the football and is hauled down at the 17-yard line. Jeremiah Edwards bringing the chop down.
Yeah, and he saved a touchdown because Parks had gotten free. Gets a great block on the outside from the receiver, number 9, and he's gone.
That's good hustle from Edwards.
If Edwards doesn't run him down.
Real good hustle from Edwards.
So another piece.
Here's Parks again. Parks dropped after a short pickup.
No matter of time, you're not going to be able to keep him down the whole time. They've limited him. Aside from that last carry, Assumption's done a great job kind of limiting the damage, but this offensive line, I mean, I know what they have them listed as. They are just a big-looking group.
Yeah, they are. And they're playing to their strength right now because they have the lead and it's a 2-point game. They're able to run the football more and do what they want to do on offense. Sapiri slings it out, and it's almost picked off. Beautiful defense. Assumption breaking on the football was Mason Spence.
Yeah, Spence was close. He's a half a step from picking this ball off. Talented safety as he just steps in front. Almost makes the play. A big play, though. Third down, 3rd and long here. 2-point game. If you can force a field goal attempt, Assumption defense is consider themselves successful here.
Sapiri with 2 receivers to the top of the screen, 2 to the bottom of the screen. Parks is back with him on 3rd down and 8. Sapiri under pressure, has to get rid of it quickly. Sarkadia was coming.
Milner was bringing it.
Milner was coming.
Milner.
Boy,
just
that's
shooting through.
Great call, great execution defensively.
You don't see a lot of pressure coming, because of the predominance of the run. They brought it that time in a passing situation. And here comes the kicker on. 2 for 3 is Condi.
Jose Condi.
As long as
sophomore. 30. 32-yard attempt for Condi. He's got the leg, and it is up and through, and it is a 5-point lead for Southern Connecticut. The Owls with 5 points here in the second half and a 12-7 lead. But that is a good defensive stand if you're Assumption.
Yeah, it sure is. Good kick from Condi. College Football on Chart TV3 brought to you by Unibank, by the Sullivan Group, by Pucci's Fine Jewelry, Milford Federal, and Harrington Physician Services.
It's that bend but don't break defense, and they've done that. There's Mark Monks, number 10. We'll see who comes in at quarterback for Assumption as the Hounds looking to get it going offensively, trailing 12-7.
Jose Condi to kick off.
Now, Assumption, again, see if they can get a spark. They had a pretty good return from Okito last time out. or earlier in the game, rather. Let's see if they can get something here generated on special teams.
Deep kick. It hits and goes into the end zone and will go through the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now a flag comes in late. Let's see what this is. There was two guys. There was talking. There was a little push at the end, but it was I can't imagine that would warrant a flag. It was two guys wrestling on the ground. They get up. The Assumption guy just gave, like, literally a light, like one of these, just a light, okay, get off of me, push.
It's been going on all game, though, and so there's been instigating, and they may have caught the guy who delivered the last blow.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, receiving team, number 82.
Yep, that's what they're calling.
This is his first unsportsmanlike conduct foul. 15 yards, first down.
Brutal.
That was the push.
Half the distance.
Brutal in terms of the field position, and the field position this half has been absolutely brutal. Really the entire game for Assumption. It's the third time they've been backed up inside their 20 for sure, and been inside the 10 a couple of times, inside the 1 a couple of times.
Williams back in at quarterback. Assumption came into this game having won 4 straight. During that 4-game winning streak, the fewest points they had scored were 49. And they've been held to just 7 today by a very stingy and opportunistic Southern Connecticut defense that has forced 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions.
Well, Assumption has scored 20 points or more in 25 straight games. And they've scored 17 points or more in 48 straight games.
5:18 to play here in the third quarter, and the running back slips down. Khalid Exum Strong, and now it's another third down. One thing, too, with this 3-and-out and 3-and-out is you really do put a lot of pressure on your defense, particularly when you're playing such a physical team like Southern Connecticut that just wants to run it down your throat.
They need this first down for that reason.
Southern showing blitz, too. Williams trying to run away from pressure, runs into the defense, spins out of it, and now throws it away. Incomplete.
They're going to take a look at it and see if he threw that away intentional grounding.
There was a receiver in this area on the near side, on the sideline for Assumption.
David Spears Jr. was among the guys applying the pressure. He is having a monster second half. There's the flag.
They threw it down. And now where did they mark him? Was he in the end zone when he threw that, or was he at the 1? If he's in the end zone, it's a safety. See where they mark where was Williams when he threw that ball, because he was close. He was right on the goal line.
Ineligible downfield player. Offense, number 74. This penalty has been declined. There is no foul for intentional grounding as the quarterback was out of the pocket.
All right. So that's been sorted out.
Okay. So it is Southern Connecticut will decline the penalty, and now Seamus Wallace punting again from the shadow of his own end zone. Jalen Cundiff, the freshman from Brockton, Massachusetts, back deep for Southern Connecticut, stands at the Assumption 42. Whoa, Wallace with a booming punt.
Yeah, you got to respect the punter.
It hits at the 32, and it goes back. What a punt.
Got to respect the punter.
And they are down at the 15-yard line. They're going to mark it to 16. I think that's generous.
Got to respect the punter.
What a punt from Seamus Wallace. And Andy McKenzie told us this week he really works hard on his craft.
I think it's a 67-yard kick if my math is correct. But, I mean, Cundiff is standing at the Assumption 45-yard line. They showed zero respect for the kicking game.
He bombed it. Well, he had kicked 2 short line drives in the 2 previous punts, almost like he was playing possum with them. He drew them in, and then he just blasted one up and over. Cinzaro's the quarterback, hands off to Fosher. Fowler rather. Voshan Fowler.
Milner and Sarkadia right there.
Sarkadia, one of the toughest players ever to play for Tommy Hendrickson, who was a freshman. They were scrimmaging at Nantucket. He needed a guard. He went in there, as you see Mark Monk's warming up. And Ray broke his thumb. They took him to a hospital in Nantucket. His thumb was pointing left. They casted his thumb, and Tommy said later in the scrimmage, you know, I'm coaching, and all of a sudden I feel a tap on my shoulder. It's Ray saying, Coach, I'm ready to go back in. He had just been fitted for a cast. And he's a freshman. Uh-oh, there's a deep ball, and it's caught. And that's where they can suck you up. That's good touch. That time to Chung.
That's a big play. One of those big play type passes that they'll hit every now and then, and Chung was open on the little route on the sideline.
Yeah, that's what they hit, a couple of those big plays and those deep balls against New Haven and against Bentley. And that's what it is when you have such a good running attack, now you have everyone coming forward, and at this point in the game, late in the third quarter, you got 11 guys on defense moving forward on the snap of the ball, anticipating run. Fowler gets 5 yards on first down, and you can drop one over the top. Brenna, what do you have for us? We'll go to Brenna a little bit later on, as Southern Connecticut looks over at their sideline. And Sanzaro looks to get the play call. Southern can take their time right now. The clock is their friend with a 5-point lead, 12-7, under 2.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Fowler is the running back. Second down, Fowler gets the call. Fowler right over the guard. Oh, it's a fumble on a beautiful hit. Scooped up by Assumption. And the Hounds racing downfield. Krasik. Inside the 5, down to the 4-yard line. Goran Krasik, the senior defensive lineman, picked it up and rumbles inside the 5, and the defense has turned the tide of this game.
Oh, let the big fella eat. Goran Krasik's going the other way, but look at this stick at the end of this play. Oh, big time pop. Was that Spence getting in there? Knocking that ball away, and when Krasik gets his feet, you think he's gone. Love that stick by Spence. Look at the big fella. I'll tell you what, this ends up in points, and Assumption wins. They're going to give him a hard time for not getting that end zone. That's a heck of a play by the big guy.
They're also going to give the guys that were running with him and never turned around to look on film, they'll tune some of those guys up too. Say, hey, what are you doing? Don't just run with them, look around.
But it's a much different thing if they come out on top of this one, too.
Oh, you're right.
That was a big
play.
Wow,
that is a huge play from this defense. It is the second turnover created by the Assumption defense in this game. 2:10 to play in the third quarter. Williams in a quarterback.
Now, look, they haven't had positive yards their last couple of possessions. They need 5 yards here.
Santos is the running back. Santos gets down to the 2-yard line.
Nice block by C.J. Herson to give him a couple of yards, but this is a front group, front 7 for Southern Connecticut that is playing with a lot of confidence.
And you can see this Assumption offense wants to get going. Santos was saying, let's go. And you know what Santos is telling them, too, give me the ball again. Run the same play. It's Santos. Santos dropped in the backfield. He lost a half a yard. Great defense coming from Jared Bennett-Moore.
Yeah, they are playing with a lot of flash up front.
This is a big play right here. Huge play. 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line. This is where a guy like Williams can be so effective. Play action, roll him out, put some pressure on the defense. The Owls are coming. It's Santos, and it's Williams on the fake, keeps it himself and in for the touchdown. Cody Williams on the keeper gets in for the touchdown, and Assumption has reclaimed the lead.
Yep, and credit Herson. He willed him in. C.J. Herson, a sophomore tight end, got enough of his guy, and they just did get in.
Good fake from Williams. He had me. I bought it that it was Santos. Santos was tackled by 3 or 4 Southern Connecticut players, and Williams just went off the left side, and they're going to go for 2, leading by 1, 13-12. Why not make it a 3-point game? Williams from the shotgun with Santos in the back. Williams rolls to his right, fires to the end zone, caught. Akito for a touchdown, and let's see, a flag comes in. They're going to say a pick, I believe.
Yeah.
Assumption saying no way, but Freddie Akito hauled in the 2-point conversion, but it's Kyle Sonny, number 11 over there, who's pleading his case, saying he did not bump the defensive back.
Offense, number 11, 15-yard penalty. Replay the try.
15-yard penalty. That's a killer. You almost have to bring the kicker in now.
This is a tough call now, because this is even a long kick. Where the spot is now the 17-yard line, it's a 34-yard field goal attempt. Or point after, 34-yard point after, and they're going to bring the kicker out.
Tondal's coming out, the local guy.
He's 2 for 2 on field goal attempts. He's been perfect on his point afters this season.
Oh, this is a high-pressure kick.
Yeah, it is.
For an extra point.
Condal with a 34-yard attempt for the point after. Jacob Tondal. Tondal from 34 in Southern Connecticut jumps, and this one's off to the left. He missed it. He had the distance, but not the accuracy, but Southern jumped on this one, so they're going to get a second shot at it from 5 yards closer.
That one missed far wide left.
Offside, defense, number 11. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the try.
Now it's a 29-yard point after attempt. 29-yard point after attempt now.
You're going to spot it right just inside the 20.
Tondal. 29 yards for the point after. And this time, he booms it up and through. Second time's a charm, and the penalty hurts a little bit on the far side as it's now a 2-point lead, 14-12.
Hey, how about this? He drills that extra point. It's a big extra point. Not necessarily for this scoreboard. There's the fake. Look at Hurston with the block. Got enough of his guy on the edge to get Williams into the end zone for that go-ahead score. And yeah, Williams knows it. He gets up and he gives his guy a shove. Tondal, with Tondal and Cole Tracy, they had made 102 extra points consecutively going into that one. That was 103. There was pressure. Not necessarily. That's pressure on the unwritten, the rule book, the unwritten histories there.
Pressure on the game. It's pressure on the kick itself. But now look at this sideline. This Assumption sideline is up.
Yeah.
Now look at this. The energy
here
is back on this sideline. They're dancing. They got music playing. It's such a game of momentum shifts. And in this second half, the momentum had been all on that Southern Connecticut side until the defense comes up with the big play. They cash it in for 2.
Look out here.
For the onside kick, and they just miss it. Just missed it. If it was just 2 or 3 yards shorter, boy, it would have been close. It was a nice job by Pasqualoni, the freshman, to recover that for Southern Connecticut. And Brenna Wilson's down on the sideline. Brenna, what do you have?
Assumption fans may remember someone named Cole Tracy. The standout kicker is now Splash. But after he graduated last year, the Hounds needed to fill his position. Assumption went out and brought in Jacob Tondal this year, the fourth ever the 2 season at SC. He's impressing his coaches with his natural talent. Big play right there for them.
Okay, thank you, Brenna. On first down, they hand it off to Parks, the leading rusher in the league, and Assumption is right there waiting for it. Jalen Johnson, 6'7" and 280, a grad student, filling up the hole.
Yeah,
there he is, number 99.
Yeah, they're playing with some, he's a Miami of Ohio transfer. Remember him from a few years back. Remember my old buddy Sam Blake giving him a hard time in a practice, a former Assumption wide receiver, one of the leaders from a year ago.
Andy McKenzie talked about gap control being so crucial to stop this rushing attack. They had it there. The pressure's coming, and they have to throw it away. Good defense from Assumption as they were coming, and Sapiri had to just throw that ball away.
Yep. Silva and Ray were coming. They were coming to get him.
26.9 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Assumption up by 2 points, 14-12. We were tied at 7-all at the half. Big third down and 9.
See if they get a little linebacker to come in. See if they can get Milner to come free on the quarterback here.
Sapiri from the shotgun. Milner's coming. Both inside linebackers are coming. Good open field tackle short of the first down. Silva with a nice tackle. It's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down. Myers was the receiver, Earl Myers.
Yeah, nice job by Silva in the open field. They're going to let this run to the end of the quarter, but they had the punting unit coming out. We'll see what happens after the break.
It will be, we'll see if the punting unit stays on the field after 3 quarters. Assumption with a 2-point lead at home. The Hounds leading the Owls 14-12.
Doors. Every door is different. Every door unique. And each one tells a story. Open a door at Unibank and you'll find a unique place. A bank where we listen to you and find answers. All to help you write your unique success story. Welcome to the new Unibank. Please, after you. Unibank. Bank different. Bank unique. Member FDIC. Member DIF. Equal housing lender.
What's up? I'm Tom, and this is 2 Things with Tom. Thing number 1. Worcester Railers hockey is family fun. Bring the family and have a blast at the DCU Center in Worcester. Thing number 2. Worcester Railers hockey is wicked affordable. Railers tickets start at just $15. Enjoy a great night out with your family or friends. Hockey is back. Hockey is back in Worcester. Give us a call. Go to RailersHC.com and come see us at the rink.
Bison Pride is the feeling that you get when you're with all of your Nichols friends and you're rooting for your team and your school and your community.
Even though we are a smaller school, you feel the big school vibe here.
All right, the opening play of the fourth quarter was a punt from Southern Connecticut. Akito with the fair catch at his own 19, and that's where the Assumption offense will take over on their own 19-yard line. Cody Williams, the senior, brings the offensive unit out onto the field.
Kev, only 31 yards of total offense from Assumption in that third quarter. It was a struggle. And you saw the struggle just to get the 5 yards for the touchdown after the fumble recovery.
Williams on first down pulls it back, throws to Boykin, and Boykin is drilled. He did a great job, Tyus Boykin, just to hold on to the football. It's a loss of 4 on the play, but Boykin got stuck right as he caught the ball.
McIntyre, Delgado McIntyre, big game, makes a big play. Good read on the play.
McIntyre's a good player. Man, he's been all over the football field today. A couple interceptions, some big stops, big hits, a tackle for a loss there. Williams with time, going for Boykin. Incomplete, and Boykin got his shoulder grabbed at the end of the play there. They may say it was uncatchable, but Boykin, the defender, just grabbed him by the shoulder pad and pulled him back at the end of the play.
When it's going well for you, McIntyre Delgado can do almost anything. You know, he can spin the guy out the end. Ball's out of bounds, it's going to be uncatchable. And in the NFL, it wouldn't even be illegal contact because the ball was already up in the air.
Third down and long for Assumption. They need to get to their own 29-yard line. Let's see. Southern showing blitz. If they do, they'll have a receiver here on the near side. No. Williams flushed out of the pocket. Williams fires back across. It is incomplete.
That ball should have been caught.
That would have been a first down. That's a big play. Williams under pressure, planted and threw back across the field, showing his arm strength, and took a wicked shot, too, after this. Just couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, that's one Justin Assad would want back. It's one that should have been caught and would have been a first down, and now a little bit more respect being shown by Cundiff to the punter.
Wallace has been huge here in the second half for Assumption. He has had some pressure kicks, and here's another one of them. Wallace, this time it's a lower line drive kick. It hits and takes a Southern Connecticut bounce and is down at the 46-yard line of Assumption. So the Owls will take over inside Assumption territory, trailing it by 2.
Well, you know, that's why you punt if you're Southern Connecticut to go to start this quarter. You punt, you play field position, your defense makes it hold up for you.
All right, so Southern Connecticut coming back onto the field here. Opening minute of the fourth quarter. Assumption with a 2-point lead. And it is Sanzaro in at quarterback, as Southern Connecticut has employed a 2-quarterback system here all game long. Good defense. Flanagan on the stop of Eli Parks.
Yeah, the Irishman doing a nice job, Flanagan, up there up front. It's Bruno, one of the leaders. Calvin Milner's leading the defense right now with 9 total tackles.
When you talk to this defense, Joe Kim, Ray Sarkadia, Bruno, all 3 of those guys said, we feel like we set the tone. Defensively, we set the tone for the whole team, and we like that. We like to go on defense first in a game because we like to smack the other team in the mouth and let them know this is how it's going to be all game long. The defense with the biggest play in the game so far for Assumption here, causing the fumble and returning it inside the 5 that led to the go-ahead touchdown in the third quarter.
Bruno in on that hit. College football on Charter TV3 brought to you by Central Mass Safety Council, Bertera Nissan of Auburn, Holy Cross Athletics, Worcester Railers Hockey Club, and by Nichols College.
3rd down and 4 for Southern Connecticut. And Matt Sanzaro, the redshirt junior, is your quarterback. Hands it off. No, he's going to keep it himself, and Assumption's all over it. Joe Kim throws him down for a loss of 1 on the play, but everyone was there. Joe Bruno was there. The defense played that perfectly.
The Joes know. Bruno was on there and Joe Kim there. You're not going to stiff arm Joe Kim. He's going to put you on the turf. Big play on the outside, and Edwards was out there too. Assumption had it. You know, your guys defensively have their eyes on the football. They didn't buy the fake.
Freddie Akito stands at his own 10-yard line. That is a very, very big. This would be the area of the field, though, if you're going to fake a punt. The Southern's going to punt it. This is a high booming kick. It hits and hits in the end zone for a touchback.
College football on Charter TV3 presented by the law offices of Joseph J. Cariglia and by Bay State Savings Bank. All right, I mean, your Assumption, offensively, you've gone nowhere for the last 26 or 17, 18 minutes, maybe even in the second quarter. You need something. You need something to throw this team off, get them a little uncomfortable. Because right now the Owls' defense is comfortable, confident, and flying.
You see the ultimate T-Hawk, Mike Volcano, down there. He was firing up that defense. Williams has time. Now he's under pressure. Still has some time. Fires, and it's complete. On the near sideline, Santos. Oh, he's out of bounds.
Now 2 referees got a good look at it. You see the official in the back. He had his hat on the ground, signify that receiver was out of bounds.
The offensive line gave Williams good time to throw that ball. 4 wide receiver set. Williams hands it off to Santos. Santos cuts on a dime and gets over the 20 to the 22-yard line, but that defense of Southern Connecticut really swarming to the football and getting penetration more often than not.
They pursue so well, and they're getting pressure with 4 and 5 guys and up front. So, you know, it's made it difficult when you're throwing the ball and you got 6 and 7 guys back in coverage and the pocket's collapsing on you for the quarterback to make any kind of plays.
Third down, big third down. Man coverage, bottom of the screen on Sonny. Williams with time over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Boykin. And it was just a little bit behind him. He couldn't haul it in.
2 key drops on the last 2 possessions that would have been first downs. And this one is a tough grab. It's behind the receiver, but it's one that the receiver is capable of making, of course. I mean, he's a great athlete, Tyus Boykin. Just didn't get that one. You don't get them all. And another big stop by this defense.
Wallace from his own 10. Line drive kick, and this is fumbled. It's a live football. And Southern Connecticut dodging another bullet.
I know Cundiff had a big week a couple of weeks ago, but I don't think you got to get him out of the game. He's having a tough game back there, all phases in the return game.
He went for it, he got drilled, and then what is it, a room service hop comes right back to him. Yeah, look, it comes right back to him.
Now 23 was right there too. I don't know if 23 got the recovery or did Cundiff get it, but certainly Kalen Gray, freshman corner, helped him out. But he's misplayed 2 punts. He misplayed the punt on the safety and misplayed that one. And this is a guy who had a big week a couple weeks ago.
So this is now Sapiri. The redshirt freshman is back in at quarterback for the Owls.
Silva's down there at the bottom of the pile, makes that first hit. They've been really tough on Eli Parks. Just got free that one time.
10-20 and counting here in the fourth quarter. 14-12, Assumption in front. Hounds coming in tied for first place in the NE10. Perfect 4-0 in league play. 4-1 on the season. They lost at home to Kutztown in the first game of the season. Made a great second half comeback in that game. Kutztown nationally ranked, and it's almost picked off by Joe Kim. There were 3 Assumption defenders all around the football, and I think they actually bumped each other off.
Yeah, they were going deep, taking a chance with Earl Myers down there, and Joe Kim steps in front. Myers and he collide right at the same time to jar that ball loose. You know, just like the Southern Connecticut defense is playing confident, Assumption's playing with some fire right now and some confidence on the defensive side.
They got a swagger. Certainly have a swagger about them. See what they do here is both linebackers, inside linebackers showing blitz. Here they come, and it is incomplete. And now it's the Owls that have one go off their fingertips, and that one would have been a first down for Southern.
Catchable ball for a first down. Again, it's not what they do, but it's one that he'd want back. Chung's had a nice game. And Assumption should get the ball back here after the punt.
Just been a game of field position here, and it seems like the field position has kind of been similar. Assumption starting around their own 20 and Southern starting around their own 45, but neither team can generate anything. This hits, and it takes a Southern Connecticut bounce. This is a beautiful punt. This one's rolling inside the 10-yard line. What a punt. Down to the 8-yard line. That is another booming punt.
Wow. I'll tell you what, the punters have earned their keep here from both teams. Conde has been done a heck of a job. He's been a weapon for him. He's got 5 punts now, averaging 39.4 yards. His long was 48. but he's put 4 inside the 20.
Slings it out. Khalid Exum Strong. Exum Strong barrels forward to the 15-yard line. Picks up a tough 6 yards on first down, and they love those little circle routes out of the backfield.
Yeah. You know, and the thought is it should soften up the middle a little bit if you got guys continually going to the exterior. Can they get Exum Strong up the middle free?
Now you only see one safety deep, too. Here's Exum Strong. He's got a lot of space. Strong to the 40, the 50, across midfield. Inside Southern territory down to the 37-yard line. Khalid Exum Strong. They brought the safeties down, and that opened things up.
Yeah, and there it is. You know, go right back to the middle. Look at Herson, man. He is earning it, 34. And Exum Strong breaks free, the biggest play of the game for Assumption offensively. On 40 yards there from Exum Strong. Again, pick and poke, dink and dunk on the outside, and then try to blow it up the middle, and they do it there.
The freshman Kellerman at running back. Williams to throw. Slings it out to the side. It is caught. Sonny.
That's a good read and good find by the quarterback there, because Sonny's in one-on-one, man-to-man, one-on-one, and there's not many guys around. So if he can make this man miss, he's got a lot of green in front of him. Nice job.
Pick up of 8 on the play. 2nd and 2. It is Kellum. Straight up the middle. First down and more. Kellum upended inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line. And the Hounds are inside the red zone, and the clock is running with 8:05 and counting.
And the plan's working. The middle's starting to soften a little bit here. Good blocking up front from the Hounds. They got some a big push up the middle.
Sonny and Assad, the 2 wide receivers for Assumption. Williams to throw, has a man wide open. It is caught for the touchdown. Hunter Adams. No, it's Falaki. Kevin Falaki, the senior tight end. Off the play action, was wide open. And Falaki hauls it in for the touchdown. Big touchdown reception. That's the first touchdown reception of the season for Falaki, the big tight end.
Yeah. Big stuff. This is a big extra point here for Tondel. Make this a 9-point game.
Oh, it's a tough snap. And now they're going to have to try to throw to the end zone. Nothing doing. That's a big play in this game. The sophomore quarterback, the holder, is Easton Turner from Ashburn, Virginia. And it was a tough snap, and he just rolled and couldn't find anything.
Now here's the pass for the touchdown. Williams to Falaki, who's in. And again, a big target who had some touchdowns in a game we did a couple of years ago on Charter TV3. Likes the TV. Comes in, makes a big play. This was set up, though, by the runs up the middle and the edge work.
Brenna, what do you have for us?
Team Impact is a program connecting children facing serious and chronic illnesses with college athletic teams. In 2013, Jan Perez joined the Assumption football team and has been a huge part of the team ever since. Jan was diagnosed with a brain tumor and has spent the last few years in and out of the hospital, but when he's here, he's a part of the team. He has his own locker in the locker room with a gold helmet hanging, and he participates in many events and games. This past spring, during the spring game, he ended the game backpedaling into the end zone for a touchdown. He really is one of the guys. You can see him on the sideline throwing the ball around with them and high-fiving the guys, and all the players seem to really enjoy being around him as well.
All right, thank you, Brenna. That's a great thing that this Assumption team has done. I know Jan Perez's mom, you see on the social media, she's so thankful for the way that this Assumption football program has taken her son in and made him a part of the team. As Brenna said, he's got his own locker in there, and they just love it whenever he can come around. The whole mood of the team gets picked up. And here's a good return from Southern. Kind of looking for some space, ran east-west a long way to gain a few yards.
And number 46, Zygmunt Kaczynski for Assumption, was the guy on the outside, and so easy to get sucked in there. And he got him a little bit on the edge there, but he was able to contain what could have been a real breakout there because he did his job and stayed in his lane.
Now it's an 8-point game, so it's still a 1-touchdown game because of the point after that didn't go through the bad snap. Sanzaro hands it off on first down. And if you're Southern Connecticut, there's no reason for you to panic. You keep doing your thing and play to your strengths, which is running the football. Plenty of time left, 7:15, and an 8-point ball game.
But just like Assumption needed a spark offensively, so do the Owls. They have really gone nowhere the last couple of possessions, because guys like Caleb Strong keep coming up or Caleb Silver rather, keep coming up and making big pops.
Sanzaro with Parks in the backfield. Sanzaro to throw. With time, dumps it over the middle, and it hit the receiver in the shoulder pads. I don't know if it was the intended receiver yet. Someone running a shallow cross, and I think he kind of screened his own man.
Joe Kim closest there. There's Milner. Been around the ball a lot, couple tackles for a loss in the game, and they looked at him. He was showing blitz and then dropped into coverage. Can Assumption get pressure with their front four here in a clear passing situation?
Southern Connecticut 1 of 9 on third down conversions. Low snap. Sanzaro rolls to his left, has time. Still holding, flings it downfield. It's caught for a first down. Out to midfield and across midfield. Southern Connecticut moving the chains. John Wells, that's the big tight end from West Hartford, Connecticut, hauls it in.
Caught the touchdown again, pretty good protection. And as he rolls out, just extends this with his feet, forced the linebacker up for more space for Wells to make a play.
Southern Connecticut has it right at midfield. 6:05 to play in the game. The Owls trailing it by 8. And they'll throw. Sanzaro deep down the middle. The skinny post, Joe Kim, good coverage on the play intended for Julian Chung.
Good crowd here, good energy on a cold, crisp day. You know, you got a full-on Assumption sideline here. You got the baseball guys on the baseball team that are they're like the ball guys here on the near sideline. Saw Dylan Zona among the guys here on the Assumption baseball team. They're working. They're supporting the team as well.
Dylan Zona is just such a fine young man. Parks loses 2 yards on the play. Joe Bruno gets up from the pile and says, no, you don't. Not on my field.
Heard Bruno's name a little bit more, and Jalen Johnson's name a little bit more. Guys starting to assert themselves a little more. Brassick's back in there, the big fumble recovery guy.
Stephon Hill is in there for Assumption. 3rd down and 11. Sanzaro looks to his left. Now he's flushed out of the pocket. Sanzaro throws it, and it's complete, but it's at the line of scrimmage. Good defense from Assumption. Ray Sarkadia, the defensive lineman, made the stop, and you see his athleticism.
Yeah, he gets after it. He's up and down the football field, and this is going to bring the punter out for Southern Connecticut. Good pressure all the way through, and just no shot there. And again, if you're Southern Connecticut, 4.5 minutes, then basically when you punt this football, try to keep Assumption pinned back there and see if you can get the ball back in a better spot. Put it on your defense.
Let's see if Akito can even fair catch it so it doesn't hit. Here's Akito calling for the fair catch. Makes a nice fair catch. That's on the run. That's a nice grab by Akito at the 24-yard line. But it stops that forward roll that has been so beneficial to Southern Connecticut in pinning Assumption deep in their own territory.
Good stuff. Can Assumption's offense answer the call one more time? They had that big drive in their last possession. They got to 20 points, so some of their scoring streaks, 25 straight games, are no longer in jeopardy. They're not going to get their average of 49. That's a credit to this Southern Connecticut team who held Assumption to one of their lowest outputs last year as well.
Williams hands it off on first down. It's a 2-yard pickup.
Owls are going to use a timeout here. They're going to use them on this series. Give them as much time as they possibly can have. It's 4:09 left.
And you would think, we'll see what Assumption does. You think they'd probably run the ball here on second down just to make them use another timeout. And this is one where you're talking to your offensive line. Say, you give us 2 first downs and this game is ours. Give us 2 first downs. Next Saturday we'll be up at Doyle Field for a 9 p.m. start, folks. It is Shepherd Hill and Leominster at historic Doyle Field, and you can see it right here on Charter TV 3 at 9 p.m.
You mentioned it earlier, but it was very early on in the game. Maybe some of your audio might have been cut off, but this is a military appreciation game, and Project New Hope is here, and our buddy Bill Moore does an amazing job, and you talked about the retreats they have for veterans and their families, veterans who are adjusting to being back from combat situations. He does such important work, Project New Hope, and they're based on James Street in Worcester, and 50-50 raffle proceeds went to Project New Hope, and it's something that Assumption football has done before and they continue to support, and something that Brenna Wilson talked to the athletic director about. Community involvement, community support, a big deal. Military Appreciation Day here today.
Williams hands it off. Santos cuts on a dime. Flag comes down, and that will stop the clock. Santos has dropped at the 28-yard line. But the flag is going to be the one here that hurts as it stops the clock, and it will move Assumption back 10 yards.
You only got a couple yards here on the play on second down. If you're Southern Connecticut, do you stop the clock and take the down away? Or do you take the 10 yards?
Right, play field position. I would take the 10 yards only because they're so deep in their own territory.
And there's still 4:02 left.
And you're a team that's still going to probably try to run the ball.
Number 82. This penalty has been declined.
Ooh. All right.
Third down.
Yeah, I mean, 2 schools of thought. You take the yardage or you take the down.
Right.
But now it's third down, third and long. Assumption still in a spot, and they are going to take a timeout as a result of that.
So they'll have 1 timeout remaining. Southern Connecticut, 1 timeout remaining, 4:02 to play in the game, and a big third down and 6 coming up for Assumption. 3rd and 6.
Sun is out now. I mean, it's become a beautiful day.
I know.
We had rain earlier. It's cold. It's not too cold up here. Colder for Brenna.
It's nice here.
Cam and Mike and everybody who's working down on the field. All our photographers. But at least the sun's out now. And
yep.
Will the sun shine on the Assumption Greyhounds here on 3rd and long? Will they be able to, you get a first down here, you put a lot of time between you and victory because already 2 timeouts have been used.
You look at maybe Sonny running a quick out here.
Yeah, I wouldn't
into
take
the
the
boundary.
I wouldn't take the pass away. I think you leave that in the book here. And
Tyus Boykin dragging underneath maybe, just behind the linebackers. There's Boykin dragging. Boykin roughed up. Williams is going to have to run it. Williams on the run, and he's still on his feet and tripped up in a fumble.
He had to be
Let's see, was he down though? Right. You would think that he was down anyway, regardless of what the outcome is here.
The indication is 4th down out there, and it's a great play. by one of the linebackers out there to trip him up because he was getting free, and Jaron Wallace, 7, watch him just get around the ankles and just trip him up. Maybe that ball was loose and recovered by Assumption. That's a big play. Yeah, that ball was out. That ball was out, and it just came right back into the gut of the quarterback.
On a magnet. Jalen Cundiff is inside his own 40. Wallace with a big booming punt. Cundiff called for the fair catch.
He's got no confidence back there right now, unfortunately.
And the Owls will take over on their 34-yard line with 2:59 to play. Southern Connecticut has 1 timeout remaining, and they need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie this one up. With 2:59 to play, 1 timeout. You can run the ball a couple times, but you can't do a ton of it.
You need big chunk yardage if you're going to run the football. Now Sanzaro's in the game.
He's got Parks back there with him, the leading rusher in the NE10 coming into today. And Parks straight up the gut. Parks has a first down. That's a first down. It'll stop the clock will continue to run while they reset the chains. But you pick up 10 yards. That's a big play. You're just getting your offense closer. Sanzaro from the shotgun. Clock is running. Under 2 minutes and 37 seconds to play. Sanzaro going deep down the sideline. It is incomplete. Out of bounds. Stops the clock with 2:32 to play in the game.
Really good coverage out there by Edwards. He had his guy pinned against the line. There was almost no chance, even if that was a good throw. Sanzaro's 4 of 12 passing the football. Superior's 2 of 8. That's your comparison of your 2 quarterbacks.
Sanzaro, a little more of the veteran of the 2, a redshirt junior, where Superior, a redshirt freshman. Assumption with 4 down linemen. The 2 ends standing up. Sanzaro on a quarterback draw, and he got buried. Met and stuck. Flanagan right there. Now it's 3rd and long. 3rd down and 9. Again, 1 timeout remaining, but the clock is running now.
Yeah, and they're not in any hurry. And there's time, but there needs to be a little bit of urgency, I think.
Yeah. And this is one of those
you
things
have
where
to get this. This is 4 down territory, but
they're thinking we got to get the right play in here. We got to make sure we get the right play, but the clock is under 2 minutes now. You're taking away some of your ability to run the football. 3rd and 9. Sanzaro after a long count. Minute 45 to play. Sanzaro throws. It is incomplete behind the intended receiver. Kim got a hand on it. Stops the clock with 1:39 to play.
No, they were going for it there. They had 3 receivers deep downfield. Again, not the bread and butter of Southern Connecticut.
Joe Kim has had a nice game today from his safety position. The veteran back there, the co-captain.
Timeout.
The last timeout taken by Southern Connecticut with 1:39 to play, but they got to have it. It's 4th down and 9. They've got to have this first down to keep the drive alive.
Assumption's going to have, they had extra defensive backs in there. They're going to have a nickel package, dime package in here for this 4th down spot and see what happens. Anything in the field of play, you get that. If they do get a first down, the Owls, there will be a stop when they set the chains, but then that's it. They will not be able to stop it the rest of the way.
And really, if you were going to run it, the time would have been 3rd down. So now 4th and 9, you got to throw the football here. You would expect them maybe to move the pocket, though, maybe roll the quarterback out just to give him an option. If he has time and he sees something, maybe he can take off and run. So we'll see what they do. Sanzaro with 3 wide receivers to the near side, 2 to the top of the screen. It is an empty backfield.
Because of his threat to run, it really does kind of limit the blitz ability of your Assumption to send as many guys. They're going to call a timeout and get a look at it there.
Andy McKenzie wants a timeout. He saw the empty set, the 5 wide receivers, and says, let's see if we can talk it over and what we can dial up defensively here to try to get some pressure on Sanzaro. A minute 39 to play. Assumption with an 8-point lead, 20-12 Hounds. We were tied at 7 at the half.
Yeah, this is a battle. This is a full-on battle. Southern Connecticut came in wanting to reverse the trend in this series. Assumption had won 6 straight after they won the first 10. Did Southern Connecticut. A win here keeps them in the mix down the stretch, although they've already lost to those contenders up top in New Haven and Pace, or LIU Post. And
Bentley beat him on that comeback game in the fourth in the second half. It was Seamus Leary, the former St. Peter Marian star, that came off the bench for Bentley and led the Falcons to a comeback victory. But no playoffs. Again, at the end of this year, no NE10 playoffs. So whoever wins the regular season is your league champion and gets the automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. So it puts a much higher sense of urgency on these regular season games.
Just 3 down linemen.
Sanzaro from the shotgun. Looks like they're going to show a delayed blitz. They don't. They're going to rush just 3. Sanzaro coming out of the pocket. Now throws deep, and it is caught. It is caught inbounds.
Wow.
What a catch. Julian Chung.
How did he get this?
I don't know.
With the safety, Stephon Hill bearing in on him. This is a great ball. Really, only his guy can make the play. Sanzaro to Chung. He's in.
1 foot, and he has possession. It's a big play. Now Assumption's going to rush 4. They hand it off. Good job by the defense to get a hand on Parks as he was slipping through and drop him with 1:20 and counting remaining in this game.
I don't know.
That's a big tackle by
I don't know.
Parks.
I don't know.
Right
I think you, that might be the last time you can run. Maybe one more time, but it's going to have to be here.
You're going to have to really crank it up, though, and be much quicker with the play call if you do.
Yeah, they're taking their time.
Under a minute. Sanzaro to throw, goes to the end zone, and it's broken up by Joe Kim. Kim, beautiful defensive play. Skinny post intended for Chung.
Joe Kim saves a big play. Gets it in there at the last minute, his hand in there, and knocks it away.
That's a great defensive play. Stops the clock with 56.7 seconds to play. It's a 3rd down for Southern Connecticut, so it's still, obviously it's 4-down territory, but you still need to get 5 yards. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie this game. Sanzaro to throw underneath, complete to Chung. Oh, he is stuck by Hill, and he holds on. And he's down at the 2-yard line. But again, the clock is going to run once they set things.
They can run here.
They spiked the ball with 47.5 seconds to play, and you're right. You got certainly a shot to run it, but you just used 1 down.
Yeah.
Instead of maybe hurrying up right away and running.
You could have gone right to Parks there.
Oof.
Steph Hill, in the shoulder.
That is a pop. You can't see there. That is a big pop from Stephon Hill.
Steph Hill showing a little grit back there.
Yeah. But it's 2nd down, so if you're going to run the ball now, the problem is this. If you run it and you get stopped, you're going to have to cut up really quick. You don't have a timeout.
They don't have a timeout. They're trying to call one.
That should be a penalty flag. It is. It should be a penalty marker. That's a tough mistake.
It's a delay
you can't
of game
make that
penalty.
mistake. Now you're 5 yards back. Now you've almost eliminated the run.
Yeah.
Now you've almost eliminated the run.
Almost. I think you could still do it. But you have to, if you don't get in, you have to really hurry.
Yeah, you got to call. The bottom line is this: you have to call 2 plays right now in the huddle. You need 2 plays called, and you wonder what it does. You wonder if they had a run call because they don't seem to be changing the play. Parks is in the backfield, but again, if you run it, it's second down. You're going to have to get to the line and really get up there and get a play off. You can't spike it. Cinzaro to throw for the end zone. Corner route. It is incomplete, and the flags fly. It will be pass interference, and it'll be 1st and goal.
Yep, there's all kinds of contact over there at the top. I don't know necessarily.
Defense, number 2.
I mean, you have to be physical and you have to be aggressive, but I mean, there's the end of it.
Automatic first down.
Football. Let's see. It's a jam at the
Yeah,
line. Yeah, it's catchable.
It's catchable.
It would have been in. It would have been.
It's
certainly
catchable.
In
I mean, that was actually a pretty good ball. I don't have a lot of confidence though that he hits that all the time. That you had to interfere.
Now do you run Parks? Let's see what happens. 42.8 seconds
going
left.
heavy.
It's first down. They're going to run the quarterback, and he's hit at the line, but he got in. He was hit right at the goal line. And Cinzaro able to cross the plane, and now it's a 2-point conversion to see if we continue playing or if Assumption's going to hold on and win this one. Whew. Cinzaro, you said they were going heavy. Well, they went extra heavy, and Cinzaro followed his running back as well. So now here's your 2-point conversion. And Assumption running players in and out.
They have an empty backfield here. Look at this.
Are they missing players? Assumption, I think, maybe missing players. They're down players.
Timeout.
I don't know if they have 11.
McKenzie's ran all the way down to the 5-yard line to get a timeout.
I don't think they have 11 guys out there.
Yeah, they do. 2, 4, 6, 8, 11. They maybe just didn't have the right package or setup.
3 guys come out late. Well, let's see what you do, too, defensively.
Now here's the heavy setup on the touchdown. You almost use a little kick-out block from the running back Parks, and then take some punishment.
Here's a good look at it right here from the goal line.
Yeah, he's in there. Ran right into Silva. Drove him back.
Here we go, 2-point conversion.
And the thing is, if they get it, there's only 38 seconds left. This game's almost ticketed for overtime.
Yep. And Matt Cinzaro, the rushing touchdown to make this a 2-point game.
Empty. Is it a draw?
Eli Parks is split out to the near side.
Yep.
Now Parks
change it up.
Goes back to his normal running back position. They're going heavy to the right side.
Pass outside.
Santaro rolls out as the option throws to the back of the end zone. It's caught for the 2-point conversion, and we are all tied up. Wow. Mike Howell, the tight end, hauls it in for the 2-point conversion and ties the game up at 20 apiece.
Howell's got 1 catch on the season. He was not the primary option, but he had to read back, and he got him open in the back of the end zone. They had a receiver sprinting to the corner, the edge there. You see him. He came back inside on his reads and hit his tight end. Wow. Look how close Spence was just at the end there. Couple of plays on that series where guys from Assumption were just a step away from ending the game. But Southern Connecticut made the plays.
Woo. Well, you got to tip your hat to the Owls because that was a good drive. That was a really good drive. It was a critical drive, a lot of pressure on them, and they made some big plays. Big plays when they had to.
Yeah.
Now, if Assumption can get a big return, it all comes down to this return here, I think, to see what happens. If you get a big return, maybe you take a shot or 2 downfield. If you're pinned deep in your own territory, then you're
This
probably
really
just
is where you
overtime.
miss Deontay Harris.
Yep.
This is where you miss a game-changing kick returner. again, hurt late in the first quarter. On a punt return, it looked like. And we haven't seen him since early in the second quarter.
Return men for Assumption stand at their own 20. This
Got a
one's
shot
going to
here.
get through. Akito to the 30 and out to the 35-yard line.
That's pretty good field position to take a couple of shots to get some yards here.
32.6 seconds remaining in the game. You get it downfield and maybe take one shot at a field goal near the end of the game. You got Assumption has one timeout remaining. Yep, they're gonna.
Yep,
they're
gonna
just
play
gonna
for
take
the
a knee.
overtime.
Take a knee, and we'll go to overtime. Cody Williams takes the knee, and we will go into overtime. Second overtime game for us this season.
Wow.
And we saw Holy Cross beat Yale with the former Assumption coach, Bob Chesney, getting his first victory as the head coach of Holy Cross. And now Andy McKenzie is taking his Assumption team into overtime. Cody Williams and the Hounds talking it over. We'll let you do the same and take a quick timeout from Assumption College.
Providing our customers with the highest level of quality, service, and value. Poochie's Fine Jewelry, 205 West Boylston Street in West Boylston. Looking for a local lender you can trust? Come to Milford Federal. Our great rates, low closing costs, and personalized customer service have made us your family financial center for over 130 years. Apply online or visit us at one of our branches today.
Sullivan Group is an insurance and risk management services firm based in Worcester for over 60 years.
Our company values? Our family values.
Committed to our clients and finding them the best solutions.
Committed to being independent.
Committed to our community.
We live here, we work here, we volunteer here.
The Sullivan Insurance Group.
Committed to excellence.
All right, so Assumption is talking things over on their side, and the Owls of Southern Connecticut talking things over on their side. There's Steve Bicaglia, number 3, wearing the red hat, the former St. John standout, one of the most prolific passers in Massachusetts state history. Had one of the best seasons ever by a Massachusetts state high school football quarterback last year in leading St. John's to a state championship. His father played here at Assumption.
Yeah, they got to steal. They got to steal when they got Bicaglia, and I think they got to steal when they got their head coach, Andy McKenzie. I mean, you've got a Division I, former offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, just a great guy, and a guy who absolutely loves it. There's Deontay Harris, who's been down since the second quarter, and obviously they've missed him. Spark on offense and on special teams, but Andy McKenzie, we talked to him this week, and I just said to him, I've just listened to you for the last 45 minutes, and you clearly love everything about this, and he does. He said he had to get a little fired up with his guys this week to get them kind of going after a bye week, but he loves it. He's having a blast, and he'll have more fun if his team can win here.
He's where he should be, and that's on a college football sideline. He is home, and you look at what Andy McKenzie did when he was the offensive coordinator and the quarterbacks coach at Holy Cross. Dom Randolph, one of the best careers in Holy Cross football and Patriot League football history under his tutelage.
Yeah.
Ryan Taggart was injured but still had a stellar career for Holy Cross, and he's in touch with those guys all the time. Those guys, Dom Randolph still talks to him. Ryan Taggart, all the quarterbacks he had still talk to him. And he said, we never talk football. They always bring up stuff we did in the meeting rooms and kind of the fun we had and some of the conversations we had that had nothing to do with football while he was coaching them. And he has such respect from his former players. He's a great, great guy for this Assumption job, and he is going to be very, very successful.
Here's how it went down here in the second half. A safety led things off. It was 9-7, and then Assumption battled back with a touchdown that gave them the lead, and they took a 20-12 lead on the touchdown there, and back came Southern Connecticut late. Senzaro with the touchdown, and then the 2-point conversion just moments ago to tie the game at 20 and send us into overtime. And it'll be Southern Connecticut who gets the ball first in overtime at the 25. Assumption's got their defense on the field. That's where you want to be if you have the choice.
Is the quarterback for Southern Connecticut. They have alternated, but Sanzaro was the one who led him on the drive to tie the game up. So he will stay in. Parks on first down. Parks tries to stiff arm Joe Kim, and Kim bulldogs him to the turf.
You don't stiff arm Joe Kim.
After a short pickup of 1.
You don't drop kick the champion, and you do not stiff arm Joe Kim.
That run puts Parks at 100 yards rushing for the day, a 1-yard run.
Joe Kim, he is one tough dude.
Sanzaro and Parks again in the backfield for Southern Connecticut. 4 wide receivers. Sanzaro hands it off. Parks, first down and more, straight up the middle, inside the 15, down to the 14-yard line, and the Owls will move the chains. Parks is such a tough runner.
Yeah, he's good. He's good, and you know it's taken him a little while to get going, but his line's given him some holes, and he's made some plays. It's been tough, though. Assumption's been tough on him.
He doesn't need much. Parks just gets a little crack, and he can get through it in a hurry. First down for Southern Connecticut. We are in overtime. Assumption and Southern Connecticut. Parks looking for space, and he's drilled down at the 10-yard line. And this is the first possession of overtime. Southern Connecticut drove down the field, got a touchdown and a 2-point conversion with 35 seconds to play in the game to tie it up.
I mean, if you're Southern, it's almost like don't throw until you almost have to. Go with your game.
No, you go your bread and butter, and if you're Assumption, you try to stop the run and force them to throw. 2nd and 7. They can get a first down at the 5-yard line. Here's Parks again, straight up the middle. Parks has got a first down inside the 5.
Now it's close. He's just outside the first down yardage, it looks like, on that spot on the far side.
Yeah, the line judge on the near side had him just inside.
Right.
Well, this is why you lift all those weights. This is why you stay up in the summertime. Hat-on-hat football, power football coming your way right now. 3rd and less than a yard. In overtime. Parks. And he gets the first down. He's wrestled down, but he's going to get just inside the 5 for the first down.
Yeah, he got thrown for the first down by Bruno. Although they're taking a long look at it. Taking a long look. Here is
first
Bruno.
down.
Well, that ball would have been spotted just shy of the 4. But they give him the 4-yard line, and it's a 1st and goal.
Here you go. This is gut check time right now for both teams. And again, you would expect Southern Connecticut to keep it on the ground. They have done so far for every play in overtime. Parks, and he's tripped up for a loss.
Goron. Krasic. Krasic gets in there, and he's made some big plays.
The fumble recovery, he took down inside the 5, and he's pounding his chest after a big tackle for a loss there. But I would expect Southern to still try to run the ball here on 2nd down, just because it's what they've been doing. Now, they like to go straight up the middle, too. They haven't really stretched the field much with Parks. It's usually between the tackles. Let's see what they do. Parks again, spins through one tackle and into the waiting arms of the defense.
Joe Kim.
Joe Kim wrapping him up. And he had some help down in there. Bryce Jacob blowing up the point of attack.
Now you have to throw.
Yep.
Now they did what they needed to do, and Assumption bottled up the middle.
That's a great play from Kim. Great play from Joe Kim. Boy, is he a heck of a football player. Such a tough physical football player. Now, I would expect a rollout. Where they've been successful is that tight end slipping in the back of the end zone.
Right.
Only 2 wide receiver set. Cianzaro off of play action, throws to the end zone. It's incomplete. Joe Kim on coverage would have been one heck of a catch. Incomplete, and now the field goal unit coming on for Southern Connecticut.
Yeah, looking for the tight end. And it wasn't to be. He makes this catch, he's not going to score. He would have been short. Tell you what, nice job by the Assumption defense. Inside the 5-yard line.
Jose Condi for the field goal. And this one is spotted at the 13, a 23-yard attempt from the right hash. Condi from 23 yards out in overtime. And his kick is up. It hits the upright, no good. No good.
Wow.
It hits the upright, no good.
No gimmies in the kicking game. Hounds brought the heat.
And Assumption knows now if they score, they win. It's all on the table.
Great look at it here. It's hooking the whole way. Takes an unfriendly bounce for Southern Connecticut.
Well, it's all on the table right now for the Assumption offense. You score, you win. Cody Williams, the senior, brings his offense out. Williams, in the words of his coach Andy McKenzie, has been dialed in over the last month. He's had a tough game today, but see what he can do. Khalid Exum strong. Strong forward for a couple yards. Williams always a threat to run, too.
I'll tell you what, Kev. I'm worried about some of the Assumption parents in front of us. They're living and dying on every play here.
If you were selling blood pressure medication, this would be the place to be.
A good spot.
Williams.
Got him.
Throw over the middle, wide open, touchdown for the win. Kyle Sonny. It's a walk-off win for Assumption in overtime. Williams to Sonny for the touchdown. And the sideline empties. The Hounds win a thriller in overtime. 26-20 over Southern Connecticut. What a game.
It's always sunny in Worcester, Kev. He makes the play. What a great ball fake from the quarterback, Williams, and he delivers when he has to. Assumption made the plays when they had to make the plays late. Southern Connecticut's a good football team, and they're only going to get better. But here's a look. Look at this. Bring the defense in. Why not? Hey, they're going to run the ball at Exum. Nope, he goes upstairs, and Sonny's wide open. And Assumption walks off. What a finish. And Assumption escapes a little bit. Hey, this was a tough matchup all the way through. The Greyhounds get a hard-fought win going into some real iron in the next couple of weeks.
Assumption has now won 5 in a row. They sit at 5-0 in league play. Our next game comes your way next Saturday night at 9 o'clock. It'll be Shepherd Hill at Leominster from historic Doyle Field. But for now, Assumption will celebrate an overtime victory over Southern Connecticut. The Hounds still atop the NE10 standings with a thrilling 26-20 win in overtime. For Brenna Wilson, Andy Lacombe, Sean Grady, and our entire Charter TV3 staff, I'm Kevin Shea. Thanks for watching, everyone. So long from Assumption College. The Greyhounds win a thriller today.